We'll help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
Hello, Scott Forbes, head baseball coach, University of North Carolina. When it comes to choosing a dealership, I stick with Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. Growing up in Sanford, I've been fortunate to be lifelong friends with Will Wilkinson. My family and I have been buying and having our vehicles serviced at Wilkinson for many, many years. Great service, competitive prices, and most importantly, a place you can trust. Go where I go. Go see my longtime friend Will Wilkinson at Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends May 16th. Proud partner of the Carolina Hurricanes.
See Home Club for details.
If you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my friends.
For my community.
For everyone here. We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies us. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A beautiful afternoon out there. We've seen a drop in humidity since yesterday when that front came through. A high of 81 degrees under mostly sunny skies. A nice cool night tonight. Clear skies with lows in the mid-50s. And we're back into the low 80s again tomorrow under sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones this afternoon down 274 points to 40,944. Market update brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
Svechnikov knocks it away. He'll get it back. Svechnikov, bingo! He'll turn it, hand it out, and here's a chance. Empty net, bingo! Seth Jarvis, take it away, Caniacs. It comes across Aho. Wanted to get it to Jarvis off the boards. Back for Gostisbehere. Aho, game over! Series over! Sebastian Aho wins it on the power play in overtime!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Tuesday. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing as always. It feels like a Friday to me because there's Carolina Hurricanes hockey tonight, and it's got weekend energy.
It does. I feel like we've been waiting so long.
It's like at the end of a long week because it's been a long week since they played hockey at the end of the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Devils. Either way, it's that same kind of relief or exhale or whatever you want to call it that you get at the end of a Friday after a long work week. It is the Canes actually get on the ice and play against the Caps, and their I'm sure pent up energy finally gets to be released, which is why I think controlling the first period is pretty darn important in this one. Getting out to a fast start, right? Which I know every coach in the history of any sport wants, right? It's not like, well, If we could really play in a lull till the third period, I think that's ideal. Never been said, right? But in this one, because of the anticipation, because the familiarity of the opponents, because of the rest versus rust debates that are going to be had, if you just come through and score early or have a big hit early or just something that wakes everybody up, I think that is a huge advantage. And we saw it in the first round, right? Jalen Chatfield scored like 3 minutes into game number 1, and everybody kind of went like, oh, all right, Chatty. And then from that point on, it was all systems go. Right? There is no tried and true blanket, everybody does this when you have a layoff like this. You have to know your team. You have to know which days to practice, how hard to practice, what you need, and you have to execute it. The best news is that for the Canes, Caps also had to deal with it. As you're going to hear from Rod Brindamore, obviously the Canes head coach right here, both teams are in the same position as far as dealing with the rest, the rust, or whatever you want to call it after a long break.
It's not ideal. I mean, I think you kind of lose a little momentum and excitement, and then you got to start over here again. But, both teams are in the exact same boat, so it's not like I think there was an advantage one way or another. What preferred would have been just to kind of a couple of days and keep it rolling, but it's not how it works.
You have to worry about things that take rhythm, right? You have to worry about things that were maybe trending in the right direction. If you're the Canes, I think there's nowhere where that's more obvious than the power play, right? Everybody wants to talk about how important special teams are in the postseason. Will not hear me argue. I don't know why we limit to the postseason. Regular season, special teams is pretty darn important too. But the added emphasis, it's there. You know, the numbers will show you. Carolina's power play during the regular season was 18.7%, 25th in the league. In the first round, it was 31.6%. That was good for 5th. So they were trending in the right direction and then said, hold on, let's take a week off. Let's see if that rhythm can continue. That's the kind of stuff you have to worry about. I'm not worried about this team with focus. I'm not worried about this team with, falling asleep at the wheel or whatever you want to call it. It's the things that were finally trending in the right direction that I'd be a little bit more worried about. Jordan Stahl, the captain here, talks about the level of familiarity between these two teams when he spoke with the media, I believe, earlier today.
Both teams kind of understand what each team is going to do, and it's just who does it better. And it's just a matter of who gets their game quickest and who jumps on it quickest. And we're hoping to do that.
It's a matter of who gets to their game quickest. I think that's a really, really good way to succinctly put it. That's why captain is the captain. It kind of feels like a boxing match, where like 30% of all the punches thrown are going to be in the first round. Right? It's one of those first rounds where it's just rapid fire. Both are trying to establish themselves. Both are trying to set the tone, trying to decide what the tempo and style of the game is going to be. And then as the game goes along, you can start to settle in and maybe pick and choose your spots a little bit more. I thought it'd be fun to revisit their regular season meetings a little bit. Right? When you play 4 times in the regular season, that's obviously, like if I'm watching film, that's the first place I'm going to learn and prepare. Way back on November 3rd, 4-2 win for the Canes. Story of the game, the Orlov versus the Caps thing is still a thing. Orlov had 2 goals in that one, which the longer, obviously, he's in Carolina and the more times he plays against Washington, it does diminish. But for him, the friends are still there. Him and Ovechkin are tight. We were there for the ACC tournament, not this past year, but the year before. And walking around that arena, if you're just in the dungeons and the hallways and everything, you're just walking around going like, oh, there's Orlov.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Orlov again.
Oh, there's Kuznetsov.
Yeah, it was
There's a lot of that.
Kuzi too. So Orlov, like that connection is going to be there. That's going to be part of it. And I love that he scored twice because it's obviously doesn't have any. He probably wants to score more against this team than he does against others for that reason. December 20th, it was the most boring of the bunch. Ovechkin was out with the injury. Canes, in quotes, right, didn't put it together a full 60. They lost 3-1. That was in D.C., which plays into kind of the home and road splits that come with the Canes this year. April 2nd is the one with all the fireworks. That's the one I saw. I went and looked up like the breakdown of the previous matchups, and there was an article on the Canes like website on their team-owned propaganda, and they described April 2nd as Jackson Blake's first multi-goal game that helped the Canes to a dominant 5-1 victory at home. Yeah, what else? What happened in the third? Oh, that's it? That's all the...
I think there's more to that story.
That's all that happened? Good on Jackson Blake for scoring 2. That was the story of that game, wasn't it? Well, when the team's telling the story, yeah. When I tell the story, it's going to have to do with the UFC bout, the UFC card that took place in the third period. And I mean, that, right, looking at that game and then bringing it into the postseason, I don't think – and players have said as much. I don't think that there will be a ton of penalty minutes. I don't think that they'll be dropping the gloves at every turn like it felt like they were in April on that first one in April 2nd. But I do think that intensity carries over. I do think that dislike carries over. I do think it goes into trash talk, and it goes into referees end of playoff games. They're going to make sure penalties are penalties, hopefully, right? They're not putting anybody in the box for any kind of touch stuff. They'll ticky-tack. So if you're allowed to push that line, I think that is where it plays over. And that is where, you hope to see the Andrei Svechnikov from the first round against the Devils, who was pushing the envelope, maybe instigating a little, being a pest, but wasn't getting caught up in it and letting it affect his play or picking up dumb penalties. You need to be able to walk that line. And then there was the final matchup, April 10th. Carolina, it was back. They were up in Washington, back and forth. Ended up ending in a shootout. We could talk about it. Caps won, but it was a shootout.
Yeah, that was the one where Carolina had clinched the second seed in the Metro. Couldn't go any further. Couldn't go any lower. And a lot of people were upset that Sean Walker took that third and final shootout.
A lot of people, all of them.
Who cares?
Especially because Aho and Jarvis didn't take one.
Yeah, that's okay.
Looking at that one, I don't want to completely throw it out. Watch the film, learn tendencies, all that kind of stuff. But for everything Dennis just said, their playoff seeding was already locked away, meaning the Canes. It ended in a shootout. That doesn't now next time in the postseason when you have a shootout not to send Sean Walker. Oh wait, it doesn't apply at all. Right, so I'm looking at that one and not putting much stock into it. The previous 3, I think that's what we're going to get. You're going to get 2 teams that know each other very well, that are going to be at each other's throats, both emotionally and from a gameplay perspective. And you're going to need other guys to step up, right? If you told me Ovechkin was going to lead the Caps in goals, you're not going to hear a surprise out of me. If you told me Aho is going to lead the Canes in total points, or Jarvis is going to lead him in goals, I'm right there with you. But if you look at the kind of underlying points of those 3 games that we mentioned, Orlov scored 2, and Blake scored 2 in the 2 that the Canes won, and Ovechkin didn't even play in the game that the Caps won because he was out with that leg injury that took him out for a bunch of games in the middle of the season. So postseason, everybody needs to be dependent on. That's what I'm taking away from it. Right? If Stankoven wants to become Mr. Game 1, score another couple tonight after scoring a couple for the Canes in the opener against the Devils, I'm with it. If Chatfield wants to score one like he did in the opener against the Devils, I'm with it. I think the quote-unquote others are going to have to produce, and that's something that every team is probably looking for at this time of year.
By the way, don't forget in that game here in Carolina last month on April 2nd, Svech left that game early.
Yeah.
He had that upper body injury. He left that game early. So he wasn't there for all the fireworks in the third period when there were.
So when everyone was taking their 10 minutes early little walk to the showers, Svech was in there like, "Hey guys,
hey, what are you doing here?
Wait a minute, what did you tweak?" One of my favorite, when they did the 3 stars after the game, and Stankoven walked out there in sweats.
Yeah,
he had already gotten changed. Hey guys,
I did my post game workout already. I'm
showered
good.
up and everything. It was hilarious. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Canes, Caps tonight. It's finally here. I feel like we've been looking forward to this for way too long. It's like an off season or a Four Nations break or something like that. But it is tonight right here on 99.9 The Fan. You're tuned into the right spot. And you're also tuned into the right spot to learn more about Bailey's Fine Jewelry and their Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. And listen, these aren't just watches. When I talk about the watches at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location, they're not just watches. They're icons. Right, we're talking Hall of Famers. They're collector-level pieces with serious pedigree. Not only when you walk in a room will it turn heads, but they will stand the test of time, so they will continue doing so for as long as you want to wear the watch. And let's be real. If you're into this show, you're probably into sports, right? You like going out to games. You like maybe playing some sports. You're somebody that is in this world. I don't know how often you wear a tuxedo. If you do wear a tuxedo, you can obviously find a luxury watch at Bailey's at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop that will fit that purpose. But they also have beautiful diving watches, racing watches, pilots' watches, tool watches, military-inspired watches, things that can be a little bit more rugged and fit your lifestyle a little bit more, and you don't feel like you're overdressed, even though you are still turning heads. It's all happening. Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Don't forget about, while you're there checking out watches for yourself, Mother's Day in the main showroom as well. Heck, get mom a watch. They got some beautiful women's watches as well. Check it all out. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside their Village District location in Raleigh. Make sure they know you heard about it right here when you go in and stop in. The driver, Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will look back at the disrespect being dealt to the Canes ahead of their, by the way, they're favored in, second-round matchup of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
All right, now that we got that warm and fuzzy welcome back series over with New Jersey, it's now time to dig deep, folks, and find your best, bless your heart, for the Washington Capitals. This is going to be a rough series. Get ready. A roller coaster ride is coming, and remember, you don't have to cheer Ovi. He's already got the record.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in the Triangle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Are you ready for a global summer showdown? Thursday, June 19th at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Football legends collide at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Inter Miami and FC Porto. Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba taking on Diogo Costa and Rodrigo Mora. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Grab your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets.
The Carolina RV Super Show is coming to you. Join us at any Camping World in North Carolina or South Carolina, May 15th through the 18th, to shop ridiculous discounts on the best selection of new and used RVs in the Carolinas. Tour new 2025 RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Enter to win a new RV and enjoy family fun and on-site activities. Don't miss the Carolina RV Super Show at your local Camping World, May 15th through the 18th. Get all the details at campingworld.com/Carolina RV Super Show.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Around the boards for Hall. Hall, side of the net, marks him with the same rebounds in front. They score! Taylor Hall on the doorstep.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. I hope, and this is usually not something you hope for people that like you cheer for. I hope the Canes are angry. I hope they're down there in Washington on a John Wick revenge fueled, all no holds barred, whatever you want to call it, business trip. Carolina is favored on the road, by the way. They're the favorite in this game. They're the favorite in the series. When you look at betting lines, that is just what they are. And so Carolina has reason to be all of the things that most all-time great athletes have to make up. You hear the stories of like Michael Jordan in 1997 when literally he was probably at the highest approval rating of any human walking planet Earth. Just everybody loved the guy, and he would find some way to go out in a random regular season game as if this opposing team completely disrespected him and everything he's worked for, and then it would, years later you would find out that like someone on the other team said, like, I've looked up to him since I was a kid. And Jordan would be like, oh, you're calling me old? I'm going to give you 50, right? Just looking for disrespect. Canes don't have to look that hard. They don't have to twist words or do mental gymnastics. Carolina is the second betting favorite to win the Cup, behind only Dallas, right? Even beyond this series, to win the whole darn thing, they are the second betting favorite. I can't really find many, if any, national media personalities that are picking the Canes. You usually, like, have you? I know you have, Dennis, and I know most of you had. I don't know why I'm asking, but you know how, like, at the end of football pregame shows, right? They go on air at like 9 a.m. and the last thing they do before they send it to the games at 1 is they all make their predictions and they put up the logos. And it's like, Terry picked the Chargers and Howie picked the Chargers. And anytime a fan base has all of the analysts pick against a team, fan base is taking pictures like, oh, we're keeping receipts on this one.
Team social media does it?
Yes. The Canes could do that, only you would run out of room in the picture with all of the analysts picking just everybody else. And I don't get it. Ryan Whitney, former NHL player for one of the top 5 picks in his draft year, also hosts the Spit and Chicklets podcast. He encapsulates kind of the vibe of what the media thinks, meaning the national media, thinks of the Carolina Hurricanes right here.
Carolina fans are kind of always all over Biz and I gave them a bunch of props. I'm like, they got Rantanen, they got a true game breaker, and all those fans tell me, Aho. I'm like, I love Aho, but he's like one little notch beneath like the true superstars, and so I don't even think if Carolina gets by Washington, like, they can win the Cup. And maybe I'm wrong. I mean, they've won around 7 years in a row. That's kind of crazy how hard that is to do. But do they have the team to actually like win it all? And I think they've been swept in the past 2 or 3 Eastern Conference Finals that they've gotten to.
That is, like, to me, the quintessential conversation about the Canes. I don't think they're going to make it, followed by like a compliment. Why is that the justification? I don't think, even if they make it by Washington, I don't think they can win the Cup. By the way, they've done something that is ridiculously impressive in making it, in winning a postseason series in each of the last 7 years. It's like, you do realize you're justifying the other side of the argument there. It's a reputation thing. And that's where the disrespect builds up. That's where the Canes should be angry. That's where they should be out to prove all the haters and their naysayers wrong. That's what they should be doing. Analytics love you because numbers don't take into account who you are. Right? Like the old baseball scouting thing. If people are just sitting around and they're listening for the sound of the bat, they don't like you. But if you just look at the numbers that are completely unbiased and objective, they do. And people are willing to overlook that because they just don't think you got it. Oh, they tell me, Aho, he's just a notch below. What's the notch? Like what doesn't he do? Give us the deal. Listen, I'm as guilty of it as anybody because I'm a grudge holder in a lot of these cases. But the Mikko ranting and stuff when not played for comedy is getting old. Like, I think it's funny if you're playing it for comedy. If there's a joke, if there's a petty, if there's something there, we know that we all can kind of laugh at the situation. But if you're sitting there going, I don't know, they had Mikko, now they don't have a superstar. He was here for like a week, and he didn't play well in the week. If you liked the Canes before they traded for Mikko, or you liked them last year, don't use Mikko as a reason why you don't. That's the kind of stuff that would eat me up if I remember the Canes. Because all of us are intelligent sports fans. I like to think, actually, I think hockey fans are some of the more in-tuned and kind of like schematic intelligent fans out there. If there's legit reason, you can come to grips with that. If somebody wants to say, I just can't pick the Canes because of their uncertainty in net. I don't know if Freddie can stay healthy and Piotr's been up and down. I go, all right, I hope you're wrong, but I get it. When you just say, like, I don't know, a bunch of years ago they got swept in an Eastern Conference Finals and I'm never going to pick them again. I can't get down with that. Because first of all, they made it to an Eastern Conference Finals with a bunch of the players that are still on the team, and they learned lessons along the way. Aho's a dad now. He was a different kid back then. That's also true about the first round. But, hey, never mind. My point is the Canes are plus 475 to win the Cup, yet nobody is attaching their name to you. Get mad about that. The Caps are plus 1,000, by the way. They are, of the 8 teams remaining, when I checked this a couple hours ago, the Caps were dead last in odds to win the Cup. Dead last. Yet there's a whole bunch of people willing to say, Caps. None are willing to attach their name to you. Make them regret it. You against the world. Us against the world. We're part of the cool kids.
Oh, yeah.
We're part of the cool kids. We're with you. We're foxhole guys over here. You can depend on us.
Yeah, Canes have receipts. Don't forget, they openly put out there what PK Subban said about the Canes going into the playoffs.
Darn right.
The guy who said, well, they don't have Natchez, they don't have Rantanen, the goal scorer. They don't have that guy. I'm sorry.
Or
who's
even
still playing?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But how disrespectful was it that PK then brought on Seth Jarvis and was like, tell me why I'm wrong. You haven't told me why you're right.
Yeah.
You put the Canes in 8th in your power rankings, way below the Devils.
Scoreboard.
Well, this was before that.
Oh, okay.
Before the series, they had him on, and he just went like, so I picked you to be 8th. I picked the Devils to win. Tell me why I'm wrong. And Jarvis was just like, everybody gets an opinion. I guess we're going to try to prove you wrong in the first round. Then they had him back on, and he was like, there you go. But how disrespectful is it to just call somebody up, be like, will you come on my show and be like, I picked against you. Tell me why I'm wrong. Rather than here's the you're the one making the argument, right? Jarvis is like, I'm sorry, I didn't pick it against us. I don't. Why would I what's going on here? It's just be angry, and I think the Canes with a dash. We're cooking now. A pinch of fury is a better version of the Canes, right? I think they just need a hint of seeing red, just a little bit, and it makes them a better hockey team. So I hope they have it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox is waving to me. That means he has something for you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. Believe it or not, the month of May, Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. So if you're out there on the road, make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure also as a rider, you do all the precautionary things before you even get out on the road. Make sure your tire pressure is up to date. Make sure your insurance is up to date. Make sure your bike is in proper working order. Also, one of the small details that you can do to take care of your bike, to make sure your bike takes care of you, it's actually cleaning your bike. It's washing your bike. Those kinds of things prevent all the grime and everything building up in your brakes and in your forks and all the stuff that, again, make sure your bike runs in proper order. But, again, make sure when you're out there on the road as a driver, check those blind spots. Share the road. Make sure you take care of each other out there on the road. Again, May, Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. But if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call Law Tigers, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Before you call your insurance companies, your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free. And your case, they don't get paid until your case settles. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the numbers, or not numbers game. Goodness gracious. I'm ready for hockey, man. We'll have the numbers game at 5:30.
Yeah, 2 hours from now.
But can we just snap through it? Look at that. It's 7 o'clock. Puck drop. Let's go.
But we have, in an hour, roughly, we'll have first goal scorer.
Yeah, we can't. I guess we can't fast forward through everything. We do have first goal scorer predictions coming up in about an hour. Good reminder there. So start thinking about who will score the first goal for the Canes tonight and in what period. Could win yourself an Apex Racing Lab gift certificate if you get both of those two things correct. And coming out of the break, we will have the Dean's List. That is what's actually coming up next here on The Drive. Stick around.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. TNCs apply.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Need a spot to cheer on the Canes? Join the Carolina Hurricanes crew at Carolina Ale House's Cary location for away game watch parties. They'll have giveaways, prizes, and more. Yeah, even Stormy will be there. Weather permitting, there'll be a lawn party with a giant TV next to the restaurant. Bring a folding chair and cause chaos. Carolina Ale House is an official partner of the Carolina Hurricanes. Come to Carolina Ale House Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs. Or visit CarolinaAleHouse.com/Canes for more info. Carolina Ale House. Ale, yeah.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Adam Gold and I am in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I always joked, gutter helmets, can I get one that fits my head? They don't go on your head, they go on your house. and they make sure that you never have to clean your gutters again. Who invented this? This is a great product.
Well, I don't know who invented it, but it is a great product. It can go on the existing gutters. If you need new gutters, we can also put it on new gutters too. We can take care of any wood rot or anything behind the gutters, and we can take care of any possible problem that we may run into when removing those gutters, because oftentimes they haven't been working for a long time. You may have rotten soffits, rotten fascias, rotten gable ends. So we'll take a look at that when we take the gutters off. And the gutter helmet is going to go over the first shingle, under the second, and it allows enough surface tension where the water clings onto it, water rolls into the gutter, debris falls off to the ground.
That sounds better than getting in the bucket of a tractor. I'm just saying. 800-672-4348, aluminumcompany.com.
The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
Blake, he'll step out in front. Marshall, he can't stop it. Jackson Blake, his first playoff goal. And this place has been amped to 11. It's a one-goal game here in Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is a hockey night in Carolina, which means a few things. To officially remind everybody, since I was a little scatterbrained before the break, almost exactly an hour from now, at 4:33, we will be taking first goal scorer predictions. 3 official contestants will open up the phone lines. If you get through, you'll get to make a prediction on who will score the first goal for the Canes and in what period they will score it. If one of the 3 contestants on air gets it correct, they get a sweet Apex Racing Lab gift certificate. For everybody else, if you're going to be busy, if you're nervous about talking on the radio, whatever it is, for bragging rights, you can still go to our 99.9 The Fan YouTube live stream, and in the comments, let us know who you think will score the first goal and in what period you think they will score it. And if you get it right, while no gift certificate comes with it, there is also an immense amount of glory that we will heap upon you for being correct.
Already getting a lot of predictions, by the way.
Any trends you're noticing? You don't have to read them all, but is there a popular choice?
Let's see. Actually, it's a little all over the place. We have Svetch, Martinook, Blake, all mentioned so far. Aho.
I kind of get that because I don't. Sometimes you go into a game and I don't know. It's a gut feeling. You're just like everybody's going to pick Jarvis. Today, I don't have one of. I don't have a good pulse of the fan. Right, pulse of the Caniac right now. So keep sending them in. YouTube live stream, search 99.9 The Fan, and subscribe while you're there, of course. But keep sending them in, and maybe we will notice some trends over the next hour or so by the time we get to first goal score predictions. And Dennis and I will both make our predictions as well to make sure we're putting receipts out there and being held accountable just like everybody else. Speaking of, right now, let's go ahead and fire up the bell. Class is in session. It's time for the Dean's List. This is where we highlight those in the college sports world, newsmakers in the college sports world that deserve a little extra praise. Not a ton going on in kind of the it feels like a holding pattern in the transfer portal even a little bit. There's a few big fish out there that everybody's kind of angling for, but nobody's getting them in the boat yet, I guess, so to speak. But I do, let's give this person, I was really active in putting them on the Dean's List throughout the year. I loved the way their role grew. But I'm going to throw Isaiah Evans from Duke in the Dean's List.
Okay.
He got invited to the NBA Combine.
Okay, nice.
I'm going to list some players that were not invited to the NBA Combine. Hunter Dickinson, Caleb Love, R.J. Davis, Kadari Richmond from St. John's, Will Richard from Florida, some obviously not lottery picks, but some top 50, top 75 players on most NBA big boards did not get invited to the NBA Combine. Isaiah Evans did, and I truly believe maybe this is a sign that maybe it's not, but I truly believe he's just doing this as a learning experience for next year. I think he's coming back to Duke and just wants to have kind of gone through everything once and gotten feedback from the NBA. So it just shows like he's knocking on the door close to where he wants to be with the NBA. And kind of a bummer for everybody else. I mean, how can a Big 12 and ACC former player of the year, and Caleb Love, the Big 12, and what it was Big 12, right? And then R.J. Davis with the ACC. How did they not get an invite to the Combine? Hunter Dickinson, I'm sure, has been a player of the year in some conference in his 12-year college career. Come on, at least get him invited to the Combine.
Maybe it's one of those things. Those guys have been in college for so long, the NBA already knows what we need to know about them.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. They invite 75 players to the NBA Combine.
That's it?
Yeah, if it has to be 84 to get every conference player of the year, I don't know. It seems like you could, I don't know, take an extra 10 minutes to do vertical jumps. Like, what are we doing here? Shout out. This is the follow-up on a Dean's List from last week. Duke men's lacrosse. And then also Syracuse men's lacrosse. What was it, Friday, I think? Mm-hmm. Duke and UNC were getting ready to face off in the semifinals of the ACC tournament in men's lacrosse.
Yeah.
Duke beat UNC 14-7 in that game.
Yeah, they crushed them.
Yeah, they were ahead by it was more dominant than I think even the final score. Yeah. So Duke gets the Dean's List for that, and then Syracuse beat Duke in the championship 9-8. So Syracuse gets the overwhelming nod. But here locally, right, anytime there's a rivalry game, particularly in an ACC tournament setting, you win that, you're going to get a little love.
Duke and North Carolina both hosting first-round games in men's lacrosse.
Sweet. What's the format there? That means they're top 8?
Yeah, top 8.
Cool. So 2 of the top. You know, I maybe I need to broaden my monikers, because I oftentimes call this the center of the college basketball world, center of the college sports world. We maybe need to call it. I mean, I'm sure like Johns Hopkins and Maryland might be mad, but it's the center of the college lacrosse world.
Johns Hopkins didn't even make the NCAA tournament. So
they stink.
Exactly.
Smart kids.
They stink. And North Carolina's got the best women's lacrosse team in the country.
As opposed to all the dummies at Duke and UNC. Maybe it's not the insult to call them nerds. But hey, it's good to be smart and athletic. So shout out to all the teams we just mentioned there in the lacrosse world. Dennis, do you have some Dean's List you want to throw out there?
I do. I actually do have one I'm going to throw in
Let's
there.
Hear it.
Vince Robinson, NC State Wrestling, won a national championship just last month at 125 pounds. As a freshman, was also announced as the NCAA Division I Freshman of the Year.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So, Vince Robinson, 125-pound national champion, D1 Freshman of the Year.
I don't know if you had this experience, but throughout my athletic career, wrestlers were always in like their own separate category that just had like everybody's respect. There might be a little rivalry between like the football and the lacrosse team, or might be a little the
baseball and lacrosse.
Baseball and lacrosse, but for some like wrestlers were just kind of everyone was like, nah, they're cool. Like we don't mess with them. They think they're in their own. Good job. Good on you. Don't watch me eat this sandwich. I know it's gonna torment you a little bit.
Yeah, never complain about a workout being tough when you're talking to a wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Like, no, actually, you know what? I'm fine. I'm fine.
One of my good friends, I don't even know if you're allowed to do this anymore, but one of my good friends in high school just cutting weight. It looks like the least fun thing in the world. We'd be at lunch, and I was trying to gain weight, right? So I'm just like against my will pounding peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. He would take like half of a potato chip and just put it in his mouth and like hold it there for the salt. And that was his lunch, was like half a potato chip. And I just look at him like, you're the most miserable person in the world. And then he'd win a state title, and I'd be like, well, that was pretty cool. That's why we all have your respect, but none of us want to, like, do what you do. So shout out to, what was his name, Vince Robinson? Vince Robinson. You've earned that one, for sure. No pressure to go get 4 of them, right? If you win as a freshman, that's what everybody does. Start counting. Dean's List. Clemson football. Now, we're going to talk about this later. They did schedule a 12-year, every other year, home-and-home scheduling agreement with Notre Dame football. That's not what this is about. We started talking, just as kind of like a reference, almost a laugher, that people are putting out 2026 NFL mock drafts. But I'm still a sucker for mock drafts. I click on the link just to read every time. Todd McShay put out a 2026 mock draft, former ESPN. Now he works with the Ringer, Bill Simmons' crew. There were 4 Clemson Tigers in the top 10, and that wasn't it in the first round. They're going to have like 6 or 7 if the draft were today in the first round next year. That is a bananas amount of raw talent. Now, obviously, they have to go live up to it, and you got to play well, and you can't get hurt, and all these sorts of things. But in a world where we need just more good, really good national title contending ACC teams, it's good to have one of those behemoths with just a whole bunch of NFL players on there. Now, I don't know how often the team with, all the NFL players makes good on it, but I hope they're good, at least good enough that they can be a big win for someone else that's trying to go, right? There's nothing more frustrating than when you see an ACC team in 17th and the top 12 make it into the CFP, and you look at the rest of their schedule and they just don't have any resume boosting opportunities. At least Clemson needs to be good enough that if a team is sitting in 17th and they have 5 more games left and one of them's Clemson, you go, well, if they beat Clemson, they'll get in. NFL talent helps for that. It just does. Anything else you want to add? Are we good?
That's it.
We're good. Go ahead and dismiss them. All right, so here's even an added inconvenience with the Canes having a full week between their first-round game and their first-round series ending and their second-round series beginning in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Last week, because we're just used to NHL playoffs, we were go, prep for the next series, get everybody accustomed to the Caps. All right, what are we looking for? What are we looking for? Then we showed up, and on Monday there wasn't a game, and now it's Tuesday, and we're still waiting for the game later tonight. And you may have forgotten all of that cram session, the study guides we gave you last week. So we thought we'd replay one for you. Here's Katie Florio, Washington Capitals Radio Network, from less than a week ago, previewing from the Caps side, the Canes Cap series that starts tonight. Stick around. Katie Florio. Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Joining us now, Heister Automotive Group Hotline. It is Katie Florio, Washington Capitals Radio Network. Follow her on X.com at Katie Florio. She's given us the insight into the opponent as the Canes get ready for their second-round Stanley Cup playoff series against the Washington Capitals. Katie, first of all, thank you very much for the time. And I do want to talk Caps, but I'm also always fascinated by kind of looking at the team that we know too closely from the other perspective. So what's like the word on the street of how the Caps beat the Canes? What's the keys there in reverse order from your perspective?
Yeah, I think, well, first off, thanks for having me on again. I think that this is certainly going to be an exciting, hard-fought series. I think not that Montreal wasn't a challenge at times for the Capitals, but I think that this certainly the notches go up when it comes on the Capitals getting past a very tough Carolina Hurricanes team. As you know, I don't have to tell you about your team. Obviously, I think a team that was really good in transition and kind of limited the Capitals this year from being able to get up the ice quickly. But I think looking at the Caps series with Montreal, I would say special teams is a huge part of that. And the way the Capitals were able to bounce back and why they did win Game 5 was because special teams finally came through. It was a little bit of a struggle while we were in Montreal, both the PK and the power play, but the Capitals able to score 2 power play goals here in this last Game 5 with Montreal. I think that's going to be key. And then I'm really excited to see this goaltending matchup as well. If Freddie Anderson is in fact back in, ready to go. I know he was day-to-day last time I checked on that, but you have Anderson against Thompson is obviously 2 of the top guys in the league. And so just from a hockey fan perspective, that's a matchup that I think everybody is definitely excited to see. So yeah, it's going to be, we saw how these 2 teams were in the regular season, especially that game in Raleigh. I don't think we'll see maybe as much chaos in the playoffs as we did, but obviously chippiness, physicality, both teams are able to bring that. So it's going to be a good one.
You touched on a whole bunch of things that I'm going to pry in on further here, starting with we'll just go to the goaltenders, right? You called it Anderson against Thompson. Kind of similar situations with the goalies during the regular season having maybe more of a rotation. Is there an expectation that Lindgren gets his shot in net at some point, maybe, especially with Thompson being a little banged up?
I would think maybe eventually, and to be honest, as you probably know, obviously with the media and the press conferences, everything gets more tight-lipped as playoffs, during playoffs. So every day, in the regular season, Carberry could confirm that Thompson or Lindgren would be the starter that night. But now since playoffs, it's, well, you guys will find out at warm-ups. But the way Logan has played through the first round, especially that little bang-up, whatever that was, I don't see how you couldn't continue to ride him. But like you mentioned, if something else happens to him, something tweaks, or even dependent on the outcome of the first game or so, I think Charlie is obviously more than capable of being a winning goaltender in playoffs as well. But I think right now it's a little more under the mentality of if it's not broken, don't fix it. And with the way Logan has stepped up in this round one and just truly, as Carberry calls him, is a gamer. He's a fiery, competitive guy. And when the lights are the brightest is when he shines the most. I think it makes sense to continue to ride him right now.
Katie Florio, Washington Capitals Radio Network, helping us preview the Canes matchup with the Washington Capitals in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The PK, what was up with the penalty kill in the first round? You brought up special teams in general, but looking at the statistics, and they did get the 2 power play goals, so maybe that skews it. The penalty kill is what stood out to me. Was there something noticeably different or off rhythm about how it was against Montreal?
I don't know if there was something necessarily wrong with it. I mean, right off the bat, at that point in the time, you obviously didn't have Protas back yet, and it was a huge blow to this team to lose Martin Farivari in the 81st game of the season. If he finished out game 82 in Pittsburgh, he would have played all 82 games, and it would have been his 300th NHL game. And losing him for the rest of the season, the rest of playoffs, was a huge blow to this team because he's a guy, a name you probably don't hear as much, and truly kind of an unsung hero type player. But as someone that covers this team day in and day out, he is one of your best penalty killers. His physicality, the way he sacrifices his body. And so I think losing those two guys first and foremost obviously had a little bit to do with it. Now you have Protas back, which is good. Obviously kind of started him a little slow on that fourth line, sort of working up his minutes in that game 5, and we'll expect him to play a lot more, maybe even back on that top line. I'm not sure yet, but I think, that was the biggest challenge the Capitals were facing. But all in all, I mean, overall it was a penalty kill that was pretty high up the ranks in the league for the most of the year. So definitely consistency not going to be perfect, and it looked like even within a game span they were able to correct some things and kind of get it back on track.
This is one of those stats that doesn't seem true, but I guess it is. It was passed along to me today that the Caps just won their first postseason series since they hoisted the cup, a handful of years ago. How are they the same and different from then, right? As the team that got Ovechkin, that whole monkey off his back and everything else, to then ride the wave of the last half decade. Is there still the beat of that team, or is this completely new?
I think it's more of a new team. I know, crazy, 7 years since they've advanced out of a first round in a decade. It had been 10 years since they clinched a series on home ice. And obviously you still have some of those core guys like Ovechkin and Carlson. But I think the success that the Capitals have had all season is based on, it's the same thing I talked about when I joined you guys in the fall and winter, is the new faces and the acquisitions they went out and got, and how those guys in just their first year as a Capital have been able to mesh so well and fill the spots that were needed. Then crazy enough, though, in a trade, you get Lars Eller, back this year as well. He was part of that Stanley Cup team. So I think having a mix of guys who have been through it, who have gone all the way, who have won the Cup, plus bringing in some of these new guys. And then you have guys like, Logan Thompson, new to the Capitals, but he won a Cup with Vegas. And then you have guys like Chychrun who are like, this is awesome. I've never gotten a taste of, this kind of playoff. So you have a little bit of everything, and I think it's a good balance of guys who have been there and done that and know how it works, paired with younger up-and-coming guys who are experiencing this for the first time but are able to go out there and play. And I think another thing to note, granted it's not the NHL and the Stanley Cup playoffs, but Hershey Bears are trying for a three-peat of the championship, and so in the Calder Cup in the AHL. So you have guys like Alexei Protas and Connor McMichael, who had an outstanding first-round series, one of the best forwards for the Capitals, who not in the NHL, but they have gone on that long postseason run before in the AHL. So I think these guys have all gotten a little taste of it in different ways, and together that works as one unit.
Katie Florio, Washington Capitals Radio Network. Katie, before we let you go, this is a game we play going into big Canes moments. It's not really a game, but it's like a thought exercise where we exclude goalies because that's the easy answer. If you had to pick one player on the Caps to have a great series, and you think that would, propel them to their ceiling, right? That like kind of if they play great, the team plays great. What one player would you be choosing? Again, excluding Thompson because we all know what a hot goaltender can do.
Yeah, man, that's a good question. I think an obvious answer could be your two consistencies, Alex Ovechkin and Dylan Strome. Strome led the series with 9 points, but again, I think I'm going to go with who I just mentioned, Connor McMichael. I think he is one of those up-and-comers. He had a very hot start to the season, ended up being a career year, and not that he didn't finish strongly, but all of a sudden from his first shift in game one against Montreal, it was like, whoa, this is the Connor that we saw at the beginning of the year. His skill, his speed, even when he's not scoring, he was still getting shots off, just kind of a shoot-first mentality, aggressive attack, and he has a lot of skill that we as Capitals reporters see on the daily basis. I don't think he's at that level of a Strome or Ovechkin yet, where the rest of the hockey world maybe notices his name as much, but I think give him a little more time, and they certainly will.
Katie, this is normally where I take our guests and I say good luck, but we're kind of on opposite sides this time, so I'll hold that back. But I am very appreciative for your time. Thank you for jumping on and giving us kind of some insight into your side.
Fair enough, no problem.
Once again, that is Katie Florio from a couple days ago talking about the Washington Caps. She works for Washington Capitals Radio Network ahead of the Canes Cap series opening up tonight in D.C., 7 o'clock. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, and we do want to talk a little football because this doesn't happen to me very often. I'm going to let you know this doesn't happen to me very often. I do feel like I am numb in some ways to like flabbergasting stats, right? When you're just constantly reading sports coverage, you kind of nothing surprises you. I was genuinely surprised by a number that came across my screen today. I will tell you what that number is in a little bit. First, I want to tell you about Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, they cover it all. But right now, when you look at the calendar, it's a great time to start thinking about and make the call to Maynard Service Company about cooling maintenance. It's one of those deals where you want to have the checkup before it gets super hot and you overwork your cooling system because it's 100 degrees outside and the kids keep opening the door and you're either inside or you're outside, but they don't know that, so all the air conditioning's going outside and then you're overworking your system and now it's broken. Before any of that happens, just get the maintenance done. Call up Maynard Service Company, say you want to get your cooling system looked at. They'll come out, they'll run the full test, they'll explain everything to you, make sure everything's running as well as it could, and simple things like making sure there's not some animal that's, I don't know, chasing around outside, nesting in your AC. Right? The big things and the simple things all need to be checked out. Maynard Service Company, it's a great time for cooling maintenance conversations, so give them a call, 919-361-0993. Let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. Even if you don't, they'll still take great care of you, but I'm asking you to. 919-361-0993, or visit them online, MaynorServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. I'll tell you what number in an article, in a quote actually, absolutely shocked me. It is a sports flabbergasting situation. Stick around.
Do you ever go to the Carolina Hurricanes games and find yourself thinking, What do the players eat before the game? What are their pregame rituals? What kind of music gets them pumped up ahead of the game? How sacred is the game day nap? What's the post-game mood on the team plane? Check out my new podcast, Iced Tea, with me, Megan LaMontagne. I get to talk to people who spill the tea on the Carolina Hurricanes. Listen to Iced Tea in any podcast app or watch the show on the Fan YouTube channel.
Heineken Silver is a world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. It keeps things light and refreshing all year round. It's like rain showing up to cool things off and then politely leaving. It's like cracking open a window and nailing the cross breeze. So, as we move into the warmer weather, grab a crisp and refreshing Heineken Silver and taste the difference. Only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Available at your local Heineken retailer or for delivery at Heineken.com/silver now. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
The place to be is at First Horizon Stadium in Cary. Come out and cheer on the North Carolina Courage, the Triangle's premier professional women's soccer team, as they take on the Orlando Pride on May 10th. Presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield North Carolina. Get tickets at nccourage.com.
Nothing beats a Fairway Green lawn. We're with Kevin from Fairway Green. Not too early to get going, is it?
Now's a great time to go ahead and start with your first application of pre-emergent crabgrass control. That's going to help control that summer crabgrass that you see in many yards. Also, broadleaf weeds, they're constant year-round, so now's a great time to control those. And not to mention, if you have a fescue lawn, it's a good time to go ahead and put down a nice fertilizer to help it recover from the winter stresses.
Thanks, Kevin. Nothing beats a Fairway Green lawn. Get started at fairwaygreen.com or 919-329-0095.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom, and that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See Owner's Manual for important operating instructions.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Nice afternoon out there. Clear skies, lots of sunshine, a high of 81, so comfortably warm with a drop in humidity compared to yesterday. Overnight low, nice and cool, clear skies, a low of 54, and we're back to 82 tomorrow under mostly sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 390 points to 40,828. Market update brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. I said it before the break. There it takes a lot for me to genuinely just like see a number on a page and have my jaw drop, right? Oh, this Derrick Henry ran for 10,000 yards in his high school rushing career. And I'm like, well, he's Derrick Henry, right? Oh, reports say Deion Sanders ran a 4.19 timed 40 when he was a junior in college. I'm like, people are fast. I don't know. A number came across my computer today that legitimately made me go, ooh, ooh, what?
What?
Exactly. Thank you, Stephen A. Indiana head coach Curt Cignetti told CBS, this is Indiana head football coach Curt Cignetti, who's been at every level. He's a bit of a brash guy, right? He's a guy that said, like, I win at every level, Google me. And then he went and almost had an undefeated season. So, hey, maybe. Talking about NIL resources, this is a quote Cignetti gave to CBS. This is an unprecedented couple days, weeks, where everybody's waiting on this rev share. And the 5 or 6 out there that have unlimited NIL resources, it's kind of scary for everybody else. He continued, I think our little pot of gold is pretty nice, but we're not at 40 million or 30 million or even 25 million. Luckily, CBS had the same question I had, right? You see somebody say 40 million, you're like, whoa, are you just saying you don't have 40, or are you saying someone out there does have 40? They followed up with, is Cignetti saying the top of the market is now $40 million? Right now, I would say yes, says the Indiana football coach. Cignetti says there are teams out there in college football that will spend over $40 million on their football team this year. Bruh. College. Like 7 years ago, they were spending no money paying players over the table.
Yeah.
40 million or more. And Cignetti wasn't, well, I feel like once the cat's out of the bag, he's just like, what else do you want to know? I'll tell you where the bodies are buried. He continued to CBS naming names. He said, if you want to be the best, you got to be able to compete against the best. Right now, I understand that it is Oregon, Ohio State, Texas Tech because of their oil money. This is his words, not mine. Texas Tech because of their oil money. I think Notre Dame's up there pretty good right now, too. Miami, of course. He named 6 schools. 3 of those schools, by the way, are in the top 5 of 247's transfer portal rankings. And if you look at schools like Miami, right, $4 million quarterback, the reports are out there for Carson Beck. He's driving around in a Lamborghini. If you look at Texas, they have 4 Power 4 defensive line transfers, which if you pay attention to numbers, defensive line is one of the most expensive positions in the transfer portal, maybe outside of quarterback. $40+ million. Now, I knew numbers were growing. I'd heard 20 last year for Ohio State and a couple others. I thought 25, 27 this year. Maybe if you throw in rev share, the revenue share money, you could get up to 30.
I say, yeah, the revenue share, I think, definitely kicks into it, but you can only designate so much to one sport.
And I believe since Cignetti did put in this little conversation that everybody's waiting on rev share, I think he has these numbers, and that's before revenue share. $40+ million is essentially half an NHL team salary cap this year. The salary cap for the Canes is $88 million this year. There's a college football team that could be making half that. Maybe 6 of them. I just gave you the teams. And if you're like, well, maybe Cignetti's over, he's whining because he wants to drum up support for Indiana. Okay, maybe. CBS did come from another angle. In the article, a year ago, Ohio State made national headlines when athletic director Ross Bjork said the program spent $20 million on its national championship winning roster. But multiple industry sources to CBS with knowledge of the market told CBS the top spending programs in 2024 paid upwards of $30 million. If the top spenders in 2024 spent 30, 40 is, I mean, that's next. College football is going to become Dennis, have you ever gone to a piano bar?
I actually have not,
Okay.
but I do know how they operate.
I would suggest it. If you can get a good group, it's a fun time.
I've heard there's a great time.
Need to bring the fun a little bit because you need to have people that you're interacting with. But every time I've gone at a certain point in the night, particularly if you're at a piano bar anywhere in the South, at a certain point in the night, one of the the dueling piano players is going to play the fight song for a college football team. And they're going to put on the board that they have with the little, like, what's playing, what's next requests. They're going to say $50 to get me to stop playing this fight song and to play your favorite team's fight song. And somebody in like a Clemson yellow golf shirt or Clemson orange golf shirt is going to walk up there, slam $50 on the piano, and they're going to start playing Clemson's fight song. And then somebody with that's going to yell "Go Dogs" is going to go up there and put $100 down, and they're going to play Georgia. And then somebody else and somebody else. And at the end, it's going to be like a rich Alabama fan and a rich Florida fan are just going to be going back and forth, $500, $600. They'll be pooling money at their table. We need to make sure we win $1,000. And it's I can't emphasize this enough. To me, the dumbest spending of money I've ever seen. For that, $500, you get 45 more seconds of your fight song being played than the other team's fight song being played. But college football fans are that kind of way. Another example, Omaha for the College Baseball World Series. There is a bar in Omaha that has mastered this. They sell Jell-O shots. They also, when you buy Jell-O shots, ask you during the World Series when it's going on in Omaha, they ask you which team would you like to support. And if, let's say, State's there, right? You go like, I'd like to buy 12 Jell-O shots for my table and Wolfpack. And they walk up to a dry erase board and they put 12 tally marks under NC State. And it becomes a stupid competition where you're riding for your team and rich guys and rich ladies walk in there and go, I'll take 500 Jell-O shots for everybody here and put it on LSU just because they want their team to win. It's going to become that where the LSU is going to be rumored to be $40 million, and there's going to be rich Alabama boosters going, well, we got to get to $50 million. Let's pool we got to get to $50 million.
Yeah, at least 45. Let's go.
We can't lose at the Jell-O shots. I don't know anybody that likes taking a billion Jell-O shots. It just sounds like a stomach hurt to me.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I'm going. Ready? Here's how I think you do it. It does take a little bit of deal with the you kind of got to sell your soul a little bit. College sports, all you do, you go to your most hated rival. You meet like in a Texas Western, right?
Okay.
Dusty road. You each pull up with your cavalry, right?
Like the Wire, have a parlay.
Yeah, exactly. You hop out. One person walks up to negotiate. Everybody's that whole thing's going on, and you go, "Hey, listen. I think I can set it up so we can make each other way better." And then once, me and you, right, to the moon, and then we'll fight it out amongst us once we get there and we distance ourselves from all this other riffraff. All you need to do is buy a website, right, a domain that's named after whatever rivalry you have, and it's NIL donations, bar graph next to each other with a number on who's winning, and let your fans see it. If it were, say, UNC State, there's a website you go to that just has like a thermometer being filled up for both of them. One Carolina blue, one red, and it's just inching up forward. Your fan base is going to see that, and they're not going to want to lose. Or if Georgia-Bama did it.
Oh, gosh, just do it all three schools here in the Triangle.
Do all three schools here in the Triangle.
Yeah.
Put it up there and make it a competition, because I think that's part of what Cignetti's doing there. He's putting $40 million out there so then everybody knows, all right, that's what we're chasing, and competitive people can get going. It's no different than getting your first big contract and getting complacent, or when you the tortoise and the hare, right? When you think you're winning the race by $1 billion, you don't work as hard. There are teams out there, I am certain of it, who built up like a $22 million nest egg for their football team, and their rich guys started toasting each other. Their boosters started toasting each other. Like, look at that. We gave him $22 million. Look at, how are we not going to win the Nationals? $22 million. And then somebody said 40, and they were like, ooh, okay. Everybody, meeting on Monday, 9 a.m. Here's the Zoom link. We need to start throwing car washes. Like, how are we going to nickel and dime our way back into this competition? You have to put the numbers out there. $40 million for a college football team. 40. Only for them all to leave in the portal the next year when you don't win.
There's that.
$40 million. Goodness gracious. I mean, we're looking at almost $1 million a starter. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a cup check-in coming up, I believe. We do have that. We have the ladder challenge and more Canes Caps talk because they're playing tonight in Game 1, second round, Stanley Cup playoffs. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Don't go anywhere.
It's Hockey Night in Carolina playoff edition. It's Game 1 with Washington.
Svechnikov, he scores! That's the magic! We're tied at 3!
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6. Puck Drop at 7.
Sebastian wins it on the power play in overtime!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Marcy Bailey here to remind you that Mother's Day is right around the corner. Show your love and appreciation for Mom with something sparkly wrapped up in a Bailey box. We've curated an amazing Mother's Day gift guide with beautiful jewelry for every style and budget. Shoppable at baileybox.com. We also have all the top designers like David Yurman, Lagos, and Hippolyta, along with our highly sought-after Bailey's collections. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best jeweler from the Triangle to the coast.
Mark your calendar, May 9th at First Horizon Stadium in Cary. North Carolina FC battles Orange County SC in a high-energy showdown. Tickets start at just $22, and they're going fast. Get yours now at tickets.northcarolinafc.com.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything! The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu!
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The Carolina RV Super Show is coming to you. Join us at any Camping World in North Carolina or South Carolina, May 15th through the 18th, to shop ridiculous discounts on the best selection of new and used RVs in the Carolinas. Tour new 2025 RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Enter to win a new RV and enjoy family fun and on-site activities. Don't miss the Carolina RV Super Show at your local Camping World, May 15th through the 18th. Get all the details at campingworld.com/Carolina RV Super Show.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Kings win the draw. Back Chatfield, they score! Traffic out front, but Chatfield was ready to let it go. And the Canes jump out to an early lead on a Category 5. It's 1-0 Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. That call from Mike Maniscalco was the series opening goal for the Canes against the Devils in the first round. If you have an idea for who the series opening goal for the Canes will be tonight in Game 1 against the Caps, keep it in mind, because in about, 15 minutes, we'll be taking first goal scorer predictions. We'll open up the phone lines. 3 of you will get to call in and make your predictions on air. And if any of those 3 contestants get the guess correct, both the player and the period that the first goal takes place, then you will win an Apex Racing Lab gift certificate. That's coming up in about 15 minutes. Right now, we have our Cup Check-In with Adam Gold, presented by Carolina Ale House. Make sure to check out Carolina Ale House in Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs. That's Carolina Ale House in Cary for away game watch parties. For the check-in today, Adam Gold checked in with Canes legend Justin Williams. Here's part of that conversation.
Because this is really the start of it, isn't it? When you think back to the first, playoff appearance in a decade in the spring of 2019, you go into a series on the road at Washington, albeit not as the favorite like this year. What do you remember about that, the run into the playoffs, and then the approach to that series?
Having a great second half of that season to get into the playoffs and to finally kind of get over the hump of mediocrity that this team was mired in for so long, and getting into that playoffs and having nothing to lose. Playing against Washington, who were the defending Cup champions, it was certainly the underdog scenario. We grasped that, we enjoyed it, but we were playing on such a high from the past few months and really trending in the right direction for a long time. And I just remember coming into that series having a lot of familiar faces on that other side, which I played for Washington a couple years before, and just really telling myself to enjoy it.
Justin Williams is joining us here. I'm going to continue the conversation about the series, but there was a moment during that hot streak. It was like 31, 12, and 7 in the last, 3.5, 4 months of the season that got you in the playoffs. But I remember a game specifically that I believe was a turning point in the team going from, we're good, to holding yourselves to a higher standard. It was a home game against Tampa Bay, and I think it was like a 3-1 or maybe a 4-1 lead in the third period, and you got power played by the Lightning, and they ended up winning the game. And I remember after the game, in years past, it would have been, we proved that we could play with them. And I remember you specifically, being visibly angry that we gave them too much respect. I felt like that was a turning point. I keep talking to other people about it. I don't know that I've ever asked you about it. Do you remember that game at all?
Yeah, I mean, you certainly did some research on this one, because you really jogged my memory just in that kind of introduction to your question there. And I remember that game certainly like it was yesterday. And we lost that game, and it was one of my few times I've lost it after a game. I went in there and was visibly upset and challenged the team, and I said, okay is not okay. And I do remember that. Whether or not that was a turning point or not, I'm not sure, but we had to get off of the average train and be, confident to compete with these guys. And the way we lost that game was just a very upsetting time for me. And, I wanted to knowing that the players that I'm not okay with it and they shouldn't be either.
Once again, that was Mr. Game 7, Justin Williams, with Adam Gold on the Cup check-in presented by Carolina Ale House. You can always check out Carolina Ale House all over the Triangle, but in Cary, they'll be having the away game watch parties throughout the playoffs. So that's Carolina Ale House in Cary for the away game watch parties. Game 1, round 2, Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. 7 o'clock puck drop. We're taking things right up to an hour-long storm watch.
That's right.
So at 6 o'clock, Adam Gold, who you just heard, will take over for an hour to make sure you are extra ready for a puck drop at 7 between the Canes and the Caps. Right now, are you extra ready for a little ladder challenge action? All right, so here's how it works. Dennis and I make likely to win bets. We admit they are. We're not trying to, break the bank with each bet, but the rule is you have to roll over the winnings. The stake and the winnings go right back into the next bet the next day to another likely to win bet. And with the idea behind compound interest, hopefully at the end of the month, we do this every month, you've put together a long streak and you've multiplied your money a few times over. Whoever has the most money at the end of the month wins. If you lose, you go back to a $10 bet. Dennis, how was yesterday for you?
Everything worked out well for me with Toronto and Florida in the game 1 of their series in the Eastern Conference semifinals. I just needed over 3.5 goals. They had that by the end of the first period, so I'm feeling pretty good. So now I'm up to $15.55.
Mine is less of a no sweat, but still a win. I had OKC plus 4.5 over Denver in the NBA. OKC was a 9.5-point favorite. Denver did win, but they did not win by enough to make mine a loser. So basically, the ladder challenge did its job, right? With the job being, we tease it enough, we lower the odds enough that even when we're wrong, we still have a chance to be right, which has kind of been the only ladder challenge I've been having any success with, is when I'm wrong, but not wrong so badly that it's a loss.
Not wrong enough?
Yeah, I'm not wrong enough. I'm wrong, just not wrong enough. This should be the name of a book. That turned my I'm up to $15.03 after starting slow, very slow in May. Are you over or under 1503?
I am 1555.
All right, then.
So I've jumped you.
Yeah, you jumped me by way of odds. So go ahead and lead off.
Okay, I'm going to go to the other NHL game taking place tonight. Edmonton Oilers, Vegas Golden Knights. Defense optional in this series. A lot of goal scoring expected, a lot of shots on goal, including expect 2 or more shots on goal from Jack Eichel of the Vegas Golden Knights. They're playing at home tonight. It's a minus 700 for him to have 2+ shots on goal. He's averaging 3 shots on goal per game in the playoffs. Again, Edmonton gives up a lot of goals themselves. So my 1555 on a minus 700 will turn into 1777.
All right. I'm going to one of my tried and true bets. It is one of my favorite bets. And it's when it comes to just pure entertainment value. It's one of my favorite bets. So I'm trying to get back into a rhythm. I've been flirting with disaster. I don't think I've won a bet by more than like a few times the hook saved me. Last time, obviously, the tee saved me. Mm-hmm. Steph Curry, 3 or more threes tonight against the Timberwolves.
Okay.
He had a slow game in Game 7. Didn't score until 30 seconds left before half for the Warriors 2 nights ago. I don't expect him to shoot not great 2 games in a row. He did wake up in the second half. And also, betting Steph Curry over in threes, I like it because you don't have to track it. If he ever goes on a little hot streak shooting the 3, they break into coverage of everybody loves Raymond replays. Everyone's just like, Steph Curry's making threes. It becomes like a national thing, and I'm just like, perfect. I bet on that. Or you get the text from your friend like, hey, you might want to check it out. Steph just hit 3 from the logo, and I'm like, beautiful, winner. So it is. And it's always fun to root for guys to make threes. Let's be real. So $15.03 would turn into $17.34 is what I'm looking for.
And it's Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, making 3-pointers. All of that makes perfect sense.
And everyone on that team is going to be tired. Which, I mean, the guy who shoots from a million miles away,
you know what?
It's not as tiring.
I don't feel like running that far. It's going to get just over the half-court line. I'm going to let it fly.
And Anthony Edwards talks a lot of trash, and I just feel like Steph is one of those guys who's like, oh, really? Oh, really? Watch this. Give me Steph 3 or more threes. I don't think they win, but I think he makes a bunch of threes. That's the ladder challenge. We have 6 minutes until we go to first goal score predictions. Let's fire up some cop or drop.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
All right, what are we copping or dropping, Dennis?
All right, keeping it all Canes related because we have game 1 coming up later on tonight. Let's go right into a cop or drop. Frederick Anderson will have at least one shutout in this series. Cop or drop?
I've been calling for a postseason shutout all postseason.
You have been.
I do think it's Freddie's net unless he something changes, an injury, shows obvious fatigue or something. Yeah, the Caps. I'll cop it one of them. I think this is going to be a longer series, so I think there's more opportunities. I think the Canes blue line can have one of those games where they go crazy. Because I like for Freddie, obviously Freddie gets credit for the shutout. I would hope it comes with like 22 shots on goal rather than 38 shots on goal.
Of course.
So I think it's a team effort, and they get one.
A 9-save shutout.
Yeah. Hey,
make it happen.
I was gonna say, I don't care if it bounces off the cart path. A hole in one's a hole in one.
Good point.
I'm just writing it down. I'm keeping the ball. I'm getting it framed. Like that's all that's happening.
Hits the tree, still in the fairway.
Yeah.
Great shot. All right, cop or drop. Carolina Hurricanes were tremendous on the power play in the first round against the New Jersey Devils, well over 30%. Cop or drop. The Carolina Hurricanes get at least one power play goal tonight in game 1.
Ooh, do we want to do what's called the tease?
Go on.
So we're going to end the show with making picks, as we often do going into a weekend. But there's a game tonight we're going to make picks, and for that, I just went and looked up a bunch of props. Went to the sportsbook apps and found the ones that I like. And I've set my own parameters. Like I like to make it more difficult for myself. Everyone had to be plus money. I'm not we have the ladder challenge for the way minuses. This is not a rule for everybody doing it. It's not a rule for Dennis, but for myself, I said you have to be plus money. One of the bets that I liked was that the first goal of the game tonight is a Canes power play goal. Plus 550. First goal of the night. So I think they get a power play goal tonight. I may be willing to bet later on in the show that it is the first goal of the night is a Canes power play. For this reason. One, I think everybody's going to be antsy, and you might see a little too aggressive move from somebody on the Caps, puts them in the box, kind of like, oh, man, I knew I shouldn't have done that move. And, yeah, I think the Canes are in a rhythm with their power play. So that's a tease for later. But, yes, I do think they get a power play goal tonight.
Okay, cop or drop. At least one player from both teams will be given a misconduct today during today's game. One player from both teams at least given a misconduct tonight in game 1, cop or drop.
I'm dropping it.
Okay.
I'm dropping it for, I think, both of these teams, they understand, right? They get it. Actually, ironically, some of the rookies seem like the ones that are the most level. Like some of the veterans, I think, get a little testy. But it's no. These teams, they know what their ultimate goal is. They want to beat them on the scoreboard. Also, I think, yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I expect a professional game, hard played, ton of physical play. Like I don't think it's going to be soft by any stretch, but I don't think they cross any lines and hurt their teams in that way.
Here's where I could see it happening. Let's say, for example, Carolina's up 4-1.
That's
late in the third period, and Washington wants to quote-unquote send a message to game 2.
You don't have to say Washington. You can say Tom Wilson.
Yes. But more than him. But let's say that happens, and then you kind of get what you had about a month ago between these two teams. Like, Carolina's not going to back down, so the refs are just trying to get everything under control. Like, you get a misconduct, go. You get a misconduct, go. There's 2 minutes left in this game. Get out of here. I could see it happening tonight.
Yeah, I don't see it being 4-1.
Okay.
I don't see it being a 3-goal game late. I think maybe I'm wrong because we obviously watched that the early April game, the April 2nd game, where the Canes did dominate from the opening puck drop, and both of them were playing for something at that point. It wasn't as if either had taken their foot off the gas. I just think these two teams in the postseason, I think it's going to be mostly close games. So that played into, because obviously that's the only time anyone would really risk something significant is if the game's out of hand in either direction, and I just don't see that happening.
Okay, final one here, cop or drop. During this series, we will see lineup changes by head coach Rob Brindamore, as in someone who is not playing tonight will play at some point during this series. Cop or drop.
So you're saying like the active roster change, not changing up lines.
Not changing up lines. We're talking like a guy who's not dressed in tonight in game one will play at some point in this series. It's like, does Jack Rosovic get inserted in the series? Does Nikishin?
I hate where my brain went. I don't like my own instinct.
What's that?
Like, well, it's a really physical series. I expect to go in a lot of games. Somebody's going to get banged up. Somebody's going to have to be replaced. So that's, I guess I'm copping, but I don't want to be, because I think, like, I don't think we're going to see Nikishin thrown in randomly to this. I think by choice, I don't know if we do, but somebody's going to get tweaked something, right? I mean, who knows if Kokaniemi would have been able to go if the first round series continued. Obviously, we saw it changing with Freddie and Pyotr Kochetkov. Yeah, I guess I'm copping, but I don't like it. I feel bad saying it. You know what I don't feel bad saying? Let's fire up first goal scorer predictions. Right now, Heaster Automotive Group phone hotline is open for your calls. 919-860-5326. Call in with who you think will score the first goal of the game for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight, Game 1, second round of the postseason. Who will score it and in what period they will score that goal. If you get both right on air, you win an Apex Racing Lab gift certificate. Call in right now. Phone line's open. 919-860-5326. The ultimate sim racing experience is at Apex Racing Lab, where the gift certificates you can win. Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 20 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks located in Carys-McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh. Visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com. That's apexracinglab.com. One of the three callers will have the chance to win that. Or actually, all three have a chance. One of them can. Everybody else, if you don't get through on the phone lines, and they are full already, you can always head to our YouTube live stream, 99.9 The Fan. Search for it on YouTube. And in the comments, you can make your predictions for bragging rights and the glory that comes with being right. No prizes involved there, but we do enjoy hearing from you, and we do enjoy we enjoy it even more when you throw in details. Don't just say a player, say they're going to score on a power play, or it's going to be on a rebound, or an assist from so-and-so. We like details. Chad in Hillsborough, you are the first official contestant, so welcome to the show. Go ahead and make your prediction. Who scores the first goal and in what period?
I want to say Aho in the first because he just had his little one and he's on a high right now.
You're going full dad strength with it, so I assume it's a power drive right down the center of the ice with defensemen bouncing off of him because he's suddenly full of that father strength.
Oh yeah.
All right. All right, Chad. Stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you. Brian in Holly Springs is up next. Brian, welcome to the show. Go ahead and make your prediction.
I'm going to go with Svetch, but it's not going to be until the second period.
Ooh, why the slow start?
Well, I think we're just going to have some trouble. I think Washington's going to come out strong.
Okay.
I think they're going to push us around a little bit, but it's going to be 5-on-5. At least we'll have that.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Very self-depreciating Canes fan there. I think we're going to get pushed around. I think it's going to be a rough first period. Svetch 5-on-5 in the second. And then Robin Wendell is up next. Rob, you are our final official contestant. Close it out with a good one. Who scores the first goal for the Canes in Game 1, and in what period do they score it?
Going a little different with the defenseman. I want Burns in the first, and it's going to be after a full setup, 3 or 4 passes around. He's going to get tired of it and just laser one in from the back.
Sounds like Burns. Everybody stop passing now. Here we go. Let's get some action there. All right, Rob, you are locked in with Burnsy in the first. Appreciate you for calling in. Appreciate all the callers and all of you that tried and didn't get in as well. Appreciate you as well. All three of you stay on the line. Dennis has some info he does need to grab from you. I went down a like time machine wormhole today online. I forget how I got there, but I got going down the wormhole of researching Brent Burns and little fun nuggets, little fun facts, right? Like he was drafted into the NHL less than a week earlier than LeBron was drafted into the NBA. Burns and LeBron both in late June 2003, not 2020 for sure. Late June 2003, they were both drafted into their respective leagues. And I thought that was meaningful because I just hear so much about how impressive it is that LeBron has been able to keep his body in shape enough to continue playing after all of these years. And while you do hear it about Brent Burns, you don't hear it nearly as often, yet he's the one that is playing the much more physical sport of hockey rather than basketball. Both playing a bunch of games, both wildly impressive, but I wanted to throw some love on Brent Burns there. And then I was, clicking links. There was an article, was it 2 or 3 years ago on ESPN.com that I stumbled into that I had actually read before, but if you should read it again, I guess is the only way to describe it. It's about Burns. It's about his life away from the ice. It's about his lizards. It's about his ranch. It's about his snakes. You forget how interesting of a dude he is. But Burns, he's a one of one, unique guy. Dennis, now that I've let everybody join me on my wormhole into Brent Burns' knowledge on the internet today.
Was that your prediction?
No, that was Rob. But I had gone down a very strange time machine relearning about Brent Burns today. And just fun facts and things I was passing him along. Just like his pets and everything, they're legendary, but you forget about them.
Yeah,
and
his
then
farm.
The backpack that he carries. And when he's getting on the team plane, he's got a coffee machine in his backpack. Like just weird little stuff that you read once and you're like, oh, yeah. But then when you go back and revisit them all as one, you're like, this guy is unique.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting dude. And it was fun to hear, again, there's this ESPN article from 2 or 3 years ago. You hear from the veterans when he showed up in Minnesota 20 years ago. It's funny. And now he's, the old elder statesman on the Canes.
It's amazing how healthy he's been in his career.
Yeah, you're on the phones, but I told the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
He and LeBron were drafted within a week of each other. Late June 2003. Everybody talks so much, LeBron spends all this money on his body and it's unbelievable and he's still playing, and I don't know, Burns playing more physical sport. He's getting it done with
no load management,
extra caffeine in his coffee and wrangling snakes in his free time, and he's still somehow out there making it happen. Who's your first goal score prediction, Dennis?
I went back and forth on this one quite a bit. I was like, you know what? Do I go with one of the top guys? Do I go with Aho, do dad strength?
Yep.
But
that's a good choice by Chad.
It really is. So I was leaning heavy towards that. Like, well, Svetch has been hot, but I also know that Washington's going to try and slow him down. So it's like, well, who's going to step up and be that guy? Mr. Game 1, Logan Stankoven.
Mr. Game 1.
Mr. Game 1, Logan Stankoven, ladies and gentlemen. Give me Stankoven in the first. Rebound pops into the slot, and he buries it at the top shelf. So give me Stankoven in the first.
If he scores today and everybody wants to start coining Game 1, make sure they're citing their bibliographies. We've been on that.
Yes.
From the moment he had the 2 goals in Game 1 against the Devils. I'm not going to overthink this. Andrei Svechnikov in the first.
That's fair.
I just want, and by the way, part of me just I think he should. I want him to lead the team in shots on goal. So that just gives me the volume, right? I want 3 or 4 shots on goal in the first period for Svetch. That's what I'm looking at. And that obviously gives me 3 or 4 swings at being an early goal. So Svetch in the first is what I'm rolling with. And I did kind of hint earlier that power play to start I would like, but I'm not going to throw that detail out there if I don't have to.
Let's see. We've actually been all over the place in terms of the online predictions. Doug said Svetch in the first, go off a feed from Aho. Allie, she said Martinook in the first period. We also had a Svetch second period power play goal from Levi. Robert says Orlov in the first. We have D. Ely says Chatty in the first. We've seen Combret said Blake in the first with Svetch with the assist. Seeing Kessler said Aho in the first, all over the place. Actually, like I mentioned, Orlov, Levi, like I said, Buckets fetch early second period power play goal. Paralyzed Coyote said Eric Robinson in the second. I've been saying Eric Robinson for a while, so if that happens, shout out to the Paralyzed Coyote on that one. Austin said Tom Wilson with an RKO out of nowhere. That might actually be the first goal, much like he did to Jackson Blake in that last game we played.
Yeah.
Yeah, all over the place. Actually, Nicholas said Slavin in the first. Rowdy says Stanky in the first, off with a deflection.
I think that's one of those, like we ask occasionally, if you had to pick one player to have a great game that would raise the ceiling of a team. Obviously, Slavin, his floor is unbelievable on defense. When he gives you some production on the goal scoring end, I think that opens up a whole other level for the Canes. When he either scores a goal or is the creator, right? You see him get one of those pickpockets at center ice, and now all of a sudden he turns into leading the break. I think that's a completely different beast for the Canes. So hopefully that commenter is correct. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we keep diving into lessons learned in the postseason, Dennis has something he'd like to pass along to you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for Law Tigers. Believe it or not, May, Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. That was actually when we did our contest for 10K earlier today. We were driving back. I saw one of the big digital board signs that you see for traffic updates and stuff. I said, hey, motorcycle safety, check your blind spot. So if you're out there on the road when you're driving, check your blind spots. Make sure there isn't a motorcycle that you may not see. And also, if you have the cars that have the sensors on the side that light up saying, hey, there's someone in your blind spot, motorcycles don't necessarily get picked up by those. So always be cognizant when you're out there on the road. But also as a motorcycle rider, never put yourself in a vulnerable position. Make sure you always have an escape. Make sure you always have an out in case things go awry. But if something does happen while you're on the road as a motorcycle rider, you're injured in a motorcycle accident, make sure you contact Law Tigers first. Give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact your insurance company. Insurance companies, they want to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They know what your bike is worth. They know what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and they don't get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, as they often are, going on at the same time. There's a lesson I think we can learn from an NBA playoff reaction to make sure we don't make the same mistake looking at the Canes. Next.
If you think you or someone close to you is having a stroke, we have two words for you. Be fast. B for balance, E for eyes, F is in face, A for arms, S for speech, T for time to call 911. Look for changes in balance, vision, or speech, weakness in one arm, a drooping face. Learn the signs at wakemed.org/stroke, because every second counts.
Chick-fil-A wants to say thanks for all the little things our teachers and educators do each day to make a big difference in our community. That's why on May 6th, local Chick-fil-A restaurants are celebrating Teacher Appreciation Day and giving away a free entree, chicken minis from open until 10:30 a.m., and a free original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich from 10:30 a.m. until close with a valid ID. Valid at participating Greater Triangle Area Chick-fil-A restaurants. Offer subject to availability while supplies last. Visit your local Greater Triangle Area Chick-fil-A restaurant for further details.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent Trane dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to let a new career blossom. The Wake County Public School System is hiring special education instructional assistants and bus drivers, and we need dedicated individuals to help transport kids and provide instruction to motivated students. You'll love our competitive salaries and comprehensive benefits, including retirement, and will enjoy a welcoming, positive culture that will motivate you every day. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and discover a place where anything is possible.
The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
They'll play it up for Nason. Nason can't get it around Slavin. What a play by Jacob Slavin. Slavin goes short side. He scores! Roll the highlight reel. What a play off goal. Jacob Slavin puts Carolina up 2-0.
That's what I'm talking about. Is that the definition of taking Jacob Slavin for granted? I'm like, yeah. He's going to be great at defense. What really unlocks it, we need highlight goals on the counterattack. Well, when you're that good, high expectations. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. The NBA playoffs are also going on right now, and I understand that we don't have the local team, so it's not as forefront as everybody else, or as the Canes would be, I guess I should say. But I do think, as just sports fans, right? If you're watching the highlights or whatever, you're gonna hear both. You can learn something, and I'm gonna be right along with, I think, a lot of Canes fans in this lesson. We should all sit down, open up our notebooks, and take notes. If a player is on a team that loses a close game, and you consider them the best or one of the best on that team, and they lose a close game in the postseason, resist the urge to call them or act as if they are the least clutch person in the history of sports. And I get the emotions want to drive you there. So the Celtics lost a bad one yesterday. Okay, they were up 20 against the Knicks. The Knicks are hobbled. It seems like nobody on that team's playing 100%, but that's because Thibodeau's their coach. So, of course, they're not playing 100% at this point in time. It's a bad one. They were up 20. They lost in overtime. Mikal Bridges had a great day in overtime, needless to say. Harry Douglas, who you hear on ESPN radio, right? Harry Douglas, former NFL player, tweeted this out. With, I believe, 7 M's. Enough of this Jason Tatum being disrespected talk. He went missing in the fourth quarter and, all caps, overtime, and had plenty of, all caps, opportunities. End of tweet. And my first thought went to, you think people that are angry that Jason Tatum is being disrespected are angry that you aren't acknowledging how good he would have been in a potentially close game 1 against the Knicks? No, they're arguing you're disrespecting him if you are somebody that is disrespecting him, because at age 26, he's a 5-time All-NBA player with an NBA championship ring already to his name. His legacy is already the type that's kind of unassailable by a bad game 1 in a second-round series against the Knicks, that the betting odds still say the Celtics are going to win. It's game 1. And it's like I need to do a better job of this as a Canes follower, which is like if Sebastian Aho doesn't score a goal and the Canes lose in a close game in the second round against the Caps, he's already had a pretty clutch postseason. He's already kind of stamped the double overtime series clincher. It's like, all right, that guy's probably a pretty good overtime, pretty good clutch player. If Svetch has a quiet period, rather than going like, oh gosh, we're back to this, he's already proven he can step up in big games. He's done it. This is a good postseason for them. Now, if they disappear for an entire series, we can talk about that. If Jason Tatum decides to miss every single fourth quarter shot he takes this series, that's fine. But one instance is not enough for the victory lap of like, you're not allowed to say this guy's disrespected anymore. You want to say it about James Harden? Go ahead. He didn't show up in a Game 7 for like the 37th time in his career. That's a conversation we can have, right? Dwayne Wade fans that want to get mad when Harden fans put Harden over Dwayne Wade, they can take a little victory lap right now. If your argument is something against Jason Tatum, he had one bad fourth quarter in overtime as the defending champion who still is favored to win the series that he's in right now. This is one of the all-time truths. If you're an NBA player, an NHL, if you're a professional athlete, and you want to make every single shot you've ever taken in every situation, I can make that true. I can make it so you've never missed. All I need you to do is win more than one championship, retire, and wait about 10 years. And the fandom will just change history to the fact that you've never missed a shot ever. And it happens over and over and over again. Win 2 championships, that solidifies your place as an all-time great. History won't forget you. Win 2 championships, retire, wait 10 years. Anytime a current player is compared to you, it'll be, did you see Jason Tatum in Game 1? Not playing great in the fourth quarter? Kobe would never. Jordan would never. I guarantee you they had bad fourth quarters and losses. I guarantee you.
Yeah, and they've missed shots.
But over 10 years, after you win 2 titles, we breeze over those. It gets to the point where, like, Jokic will have somebody score 40 against him, and people will be going like, Olajuwon would never. I'm like, well, I'm sure Olajuwon didn't help every single good player he played against to 0 points scored, even though he might be the best post defender of all time. Still. So the same is kind of true, right? It's if a player on the Canes doesn't appear clutch today, right, you go right to like Justin Williams would have made the shot. Justin Williams was on teams that didn't win close games. Now, you also need to have the highs, right? You also need to make the plays in order for us to give you the pass on the others. But like, Aho just scored a game winner in double overtime to put the Devils on vacation.
And the game-tying goal.
And he and Jarvis helped with 2 game-tying goals, force overtime in the game they did lose in that series. So that like there's levels to this.
It's such a reaction to just like the one game moment. It's like you're gonna go back to, if I remember correctly, it was Eastern Conference Finals last year, Indiana Boston, and it went to overtime. Game 1. You know what? 10 points in overtime. Tatum. Like, I'm sorry, I thought he didn't do that. It's just like, come on, like you're just gonna look at one moment, like.
And that's my point, because we all get caught up in it occasionally because you're so emotionally invested in a game, and we do treat superstars kind of like superheroes, where it's like, no, you win at the end of the comic book every time. But it's just, the other team has their superstars, also their superheroes, and they're professional athletes, and they're getting paid, and they might get one. The thing is, can you bounce back? The thing is, what lessons did you learn? That's what it's all about. So this is me giving everybody the full authority. If you catch me coming down too hard on a player, making big, grandiose statements about one moment, I want you to call me out on it. I want the phone lines to light up. I want the comments to light up. I want all of it. Make sure I don't. Be our checks and balances. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Miller Lending, and Gordon Miller, of course, the home of the no closing cost loan. Right? I'll be the watchdog here to make sure you all know. I'll let you know again and again and again if you're doing something you shouldn't, like going to one of these other brokers. First of all, Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, they're a broker, right? So you may have somebody in the mortgage industry or somebody that works here, there, the other. They give you a rate. Miller Lending doesn't necessarily operate that way. They can go to 30 different lenders and find the best rate. They can shop around for you and then come to you with, here's the best rate I can find based on your situation, which gets you the lowest rate possible. Then they hit you with the no cost element, which means no cost, no fees, no third-party fees. Zero means zero cash out of your pocket at closing, which allows you the flexibility to refinance if rates drop without having to dig into your pocket once again, right? No closing cost loans, no closing cost refinances. They are just getting you the lowest rate without taking that money out of your pocket. It's the way to do it. The number to call if you're interested, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377, or visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Did Dennis and I and everybody here at 99.9 The Fan actually, before we move on, I got one more thing I need to tell you about Miller Lending. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2502146. Now, moving on, Dennis and I had the opportunity to potentially be a part of our 10K playoff payout to maybe give away $10,000 today. Did we? Stick around to find out.
Move your sports day forward.
All right, now that we got that warm and fuzzy welcome back series over with New Jersey, it's now time to dig deep, folks, and find your best, bless your heart, for the Washington Capitals. This is going to be a rough series. Get ready. A roller coaster ride is coming, and remember, you don't have to cheer Ovi. He's already got the record.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See Owner's Manual for important operating instructions.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. The NBA Conference semifinals are here, and even though we are without a king, no more monarchy in the NBA playoffs, we are still ready for you. And FanDuel, for new customers, $200 in bonus bets await when you place your first $5 wager. You don't even have to win it. How good is that? FanDuel.com/AdamGold. That's FanDuel.com/AdamGold. And again, new customers, $200 in bonus bets when you place your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Beautiful afternoon for us. A pleasant evening and overnight. 54 the low. The cooler rural areas will be in the 40s. 83 tomorrow. It's partly cloudy. Can't rule out a shower in our southern counties during the afternoon.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones this afternoon at the closing bell, down 389 points to 40,829. Market update brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to the starting five, yes, you are tuned in to the home for Carolina Hurricanes hockey, and there will be
Let's go.
A game tonight, 7 o'clock, here on 99.9 The Fan. We're about an hour away from Stormwatch. Adam Gold taking over at 6. Game at 7. Hopefully celebration shortly after the final buzzer. That's what we have going on here today on 99.9 The Fan. At the moment, it's time for the starting five, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We had the 10K playoff payout take place today. 5 contestants that we had qualified over the previous 3 business days came out to Invisalign Arena, practice arena for the Canes with us. We had the shot set up. They had to go from the far blue line all the way into we put the board goalie into the goal. So there's a smaller little tiny window for them to make the shot. If it goes in, they get $10,000. They all took their shot and no winner. Hey, no, take that back. They didn't win, but they gave it a good try.
We actually had a couple people get really close.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, for us, obviously I want the contestants to win $10,000.
Well, of course.
Not my money.
Ain't my money either.
But for, my enjoyment, I just need you to be close halfway, right? I need there to be a chance. Because it is, when you miss, way left or way right off the stick, it's like, oh. But when it's there, you get your heart rate going a bit. Where you're like, oh. Donk. Right, and then you get the sound that Dennis was playing. But it was a really fun time as always. We gave away playoff tickets to round 2.
Yeah, we did.
We gave away Stankoven signed puck.
We did.
We gave away a bunch of gift certificates. It's always fun to give stuff.
Some hats, some merch, other kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it's always fun to hang out in person with listeners. Good to put a face to the name or face to the listeners occasionally. So thank you to everybody that tried to qualify. In case you've noticed, there is a bit of a pattern that we do a 10K playoff payout for each round of the postseason. Mm-hmm. That may or may not be something we have planned for if and or when another round in the postseason exists for the Carolina Hurricanes. But I don't know. You didn't. I'm just spitballing here. I'm just talking about what might be.
I'm just thinking, when the Canes win this series.
I'm not superstitious, but I do respect other people's superstitions. I get it if you don't want me to talk in certainties. So, I throw the if in there as a courtesy to the superstitious amongst us. We had a logo in our locker room, our logo that you couldn't walk on.
Oh, yeah.
And if somebody walked on it, it became a whole thing in college. I don't necessarily believe and or care. Like if you care about our logo that much, you don't want people stepping on it, don't put it on the floor in the middle of the locker room. Maybe put it on the wall so we can look at it.
It's a hockey thing.
There's a bunch of teams that do it. I wouldn't step on it. Not out of any kind of like, ooh, but just because I was like, all right, if other people care about it, what's 2 steps to me to go around? You know what I mean? It's kind of what I'm like with that. So if and or when the Canes win, you may want to be tuning in as we get ready for that series here on 99.9 The Fan for potentially your chance at 10,000. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Brunson slowly into the front court. Near side arc backing down Holiday. 4:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Taking his time, 10 to shoot. What's the play here? Brunson waiting. Screen on the left from Towns. Rejects it. Steps back. Right wing 3. Good for the lead. Jalen Brunson kisses 3 fingers to the crowd. And the Knicks have their first advantage since the second quarter.
Crazy, crazy night of playoff action. NBA and NHL. Dennis, I put it to you.
Yeah.
Sam Bennett, dirty player?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Is the sun out? Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why that struck me as funny. That could be like I don't know. Yeah. It's like an ad lib in a hip hop song. Yeah. That was funny. First of all, that game, another wild one, right?
Florida and Toronto.
5-4 to open the series. Goalies in and out. There's serious conversations about concussions and everything. There's more hockey serious questions about what punishments should occur. There's also 9 goals allowed in that one between the Panthers and the Maple Leafs, and Toronto got the win. So there you go. What are your reactions to that specific game? And I mean, Nylander with the 2 goals. That's kind of the hockey highlight, I guess. But then no one's talking about the hockey.
I think the thing that impressed me most is, like you said, it was right from the jump. I think it was less than 30 seconds into the game, or it was 33 seconds in. Either way, William Nylander got his first of 2 goals yesterday.
Back-to-back, the first 2.
Yeah, the first 2. And he's a high-end player. Like, he's literally is like superstar level player. But the always question is, like, can these guys get it done in the postseason? And the fact that he got 2 yesterday was super impressive. I was just impressed about how Toronto just jumped all over Florida early. Now, the Sam Bennett thing you're referring to, Anthony Stolarz, the goaltender for Toronto, got knocked out of the game. And it happened after Sam Bennett made contact with him in the crease. Elbow made contact with the head. I didn't think it was super egregious. I really didn't think so.
It didn't look as bad.
Honestly,
that
I think
overhead angle.
Yeah, I honestly think when Timo Meier for New Jersey ran into Freddie Anderson, that was more contact in my mind, or more intent there, I should say. But you could tell that Sam Bennett wanted to disrupt Stolarz, but I don't think that
former teammate, by the way, they're buddies.
Former teammate. I think there was also a byproduct of earlier in the game, Stolarz took a shot directly off his face mask, I should say.
Yeah.
His face mask popped off, and he may have been woozy from that. And then this was just kind of an added thing, with concussion symptoms and everything that we saw. Here's the biggest thing that I have an issue with: the Sam Bennett hit from yesterday, and even the Timo Meier hit on Freddie Anderson back in the Canes Jersey series. There's no penalty called on the play. I'm like, this is goalie interference.
Mm-hmm.
Call that. Because otherwise, people are going to keep skating into the crease and making contact with goalies. Call the penalties the way they're supposed to be. That should have been a 2-minute call against Sam Bennett yesterday, just like Timo Meier should have been a 2-minute call.
Anyone that was watching both had the exact thought you had. Just, okay, I guess that we should all just skate into goalies. Let's get everybody to their backup goalie. Like that's players and I think even the guys that are like doing the physical play, they want that called so it's not incentivized. You don't want to think like, ooh, I can take out their goalie, because that's a dirty play. You don't want that, but a competitive, juices overflowing person, well, all right. I mean, if it's loud, why not? In the NBA, you want to let and I hope we have a couple of these moments. I actually think Winnipeg kind of had that moment. The NBA playoffs announced it's for real last night, because Boston and OKC are 2 of the most popular bets to win it all, and came into the second round against teams that they thought everybody pretty much thought they were significantly better than, both lost. Denver on a Aaron Gordon game-winning 3 with less than 5 seconds left beat OKC, and then New York with a dramatic comeback in overtime ends up beating Boston. Boston had the ball with 5 seconds left, didn't even get a shot off. They inbounded it, and Mikal Bridges just took it away. So it was as if the NBA playoffs announced, like, I don't care how good you were, now is the point where you're going to have to earn it. And that's what you want in the postseason. So hopefully it wakes up Boston and OKC, and they have great series from this point on. That is what number was that? 4. Let's hit number 3. I will admit I have a cynical instinct for the future of college football at the moment. I've heard so many harrowing predictions of what things are going to look like 10 years from now that certain things which I don't think would bother me in the past bother me now. Clemson and Notre Dame, Ross Dellinger, excellent investigative reporter in the college football world. Ross Dellinger reports that Clemson and Notre Dame have agreed to a 12-year football series running from 2027 through 2038, where they will alternate playing home for each team. So Clemson at home this year, Notre Dame at home next year, back and forth, from 2027 to 2038. There was a point in time where I would have just gone, all right, they want a big game, right? Because anytime you throw Notre Dame in, they're kind of a cheat code for TV ratings and everything with their television deal when you play at Notre Dame. And if you are playing against Notre Dame at home, which means the ACC controls those television rights, it is a guaranteed ACC primetime game, right? Notre Dame's there. So it would just be a good business decision 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. My cynical brain, with all of the horror stories about what the future is going to be like, goes immediately to, oh, okay. So this is definitely Notre Dame making sure they have committed scheduling games with Clemson when Clemson leaves the ACC. Because don't forget, like, Notre Dame already has an agreement with the ACC to play 5 games a year, right? They're not in the ACC, but they fill up some of the schedule that way. Well, what would Notre Dame need if, say, the ACC suddenly has a whole bunch of really, really good teams leave for the SEC and the Big Ten? They would need really, really good games guaranteed, right? They would not turn to the ACC and go, oh, it's cool that we used to agree to play UNC and Virginia Tech and Clemson and NC State and Miami and these bigger football brands. And now, since they all left, we'll just keep the same agreement and play Boston College and Georgia Tech and Pitt. That's not how Stanford and Cal, like, that's not what they'd be cool with. So they're guaranteeing that even if the ACC greatly changes, they still get to play Clemson every year. Maybe I'm the Chicken Little here running around, the sky is falling, but I actually resisted that for a long time. I was the one saying college sports are fine. Now every move, I feel like they're setting themselves up to be one of the few with water when, right, the apocalypse happens or whatever. It's, yeah, I've got Notre Dame's going like, I've got a nice bunker out back. I've got it, stocked with enough Clemson games to last me a decade. I've got it stocked with cans of corn and a bunch of non-perishables, medicine, and an agreement to play Clemson every year till 2038. Like, everybody's just preparing for doomsday.
Plus, as well, the whole revenue aspect for teams in the ACC when it comes to TV ratings and how much more money they get from the ACC. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? If Clemson's playing Notre Dame every year, well, guess what? That's a high-profile game. You're going to get higher ratings. Guess what? You're going to get more money from the ACC in that regard.
Which I don't hate that aspect of it, because then if other teams want to keep up with Clemson, guess what they have to do?
Schedule tough.
They got to go schedule Texas. They got to go schedule USC. They got to go schedule other teams that'll bring kind of that artificial boost to their rating. So if Clemson wants to start that arms race, that's just going to lead to an awesome non-conference schedule for everyone in the ACC.
That's a good thing.
Which, from a fan's perspective, I love, right? Less, no offense, Central Michigans and more Michigan's. Like that. That's what I'm looking for in the non-conference schedule. Although not Michigan, because they'll probably steal your signs and then have absolutely no ramifications for it. That's number 3. Starting 5, let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
The NFL draft is going to Washington, D.C. in the year 2027. They made the announcement yesterday. Pittsburgh next year, then D.C. There were some teams that put in bids for the 2027 draft. Charlotte and / Carolina, the Panthers, not amongst them. I do think they need to get a draft in Charlotte. I think now the earliest it'll be is 2029. Few observations. One, I don't get the draft, which is weird because I love the draft. I study the draft. I'd make my own rankings and see how well I do compared to the actual draft. I don't fully get why they get like 500,000 people in attendance. They just walk across the stage and hug a commissioner. They only had 17 or 16 players in attendance this year.
It's the biggest non-sporting event. By the way, everyone there looks like they're having a great time. So I'm not hating on it, right? You do whatever it is that makes you happy. I am confused by it, is what I want someone to explain to me why it is so fun to stand around and watch the draft. Everyone's there with more hopes and dreams and aspirations for the upcoming year.
I get that about the draft. How nobody loses the draft. Every player is going to be an all-pro. I get that. I just don't see why you can't be excited when your alert on your phone goes off that the next pick was in and you check your pocket while doing anything else. But with that being said, you can't ignore what the festival that it's become, and I imagine economic boom and buzz / excitement building event for your team that Green Bay had more people in attendance at the draft than are in Green Bay most days. Bigger than the population of Green Bay was standing at the draft watching the draft. That's absurd. And that's a lot of money. That's a lot of hotels. That's a lot of restaurants. It's good, and it's good for building buzz of football in your city. So I think Charlotte should do what they can to get a draft. Just like I think you should do what you can to get an Olympics or a Super Bowl. I know it's expensive and you have to build infrastructure, but that was a word that I almost said right.
Yeah. Infrastructure.
But then also, you get the added benefit of more sports fans in your town.
So I think if Carolina wants to host this, the city of Charlotte, I guess you can say, or really it's just the state of North Carolina, have it at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I know it's up in Concord, just north of Charlotte, but could you imagine coming down Pit Row, and you pull up into Victory Lane? That's where the commissioner's announcing is in Victory Lane, and hopping out of the car on the passenger side is the person that was just announced, that was just picked. Hey, we're going to give you the jersey, the whole deal. That'd be wonderful.
The long walk from the green room is kind of awkward at the draft.
It can be, yeah.
Player stands up. You're excited for him, hugging mom, hugging dad, hugging grandma, shaking the hand of the agent, finding the college coach. Shout out to the really fast cornerback from Kentucky, who I forget his name, but he was the last guy before
Hairston, I think.
Yeah, Hairston. That's Maxwell Hairston. He was the last guy before the tunnel that you walked out for the green room, from the green room to the stage. That guy gave the biggest dap bro hugs to everybody that was drafted before him. It was really cool. He was just genuinely excited for everybody. But they do that, and then they have 45 yards of just walking down a tunnel, and it's just we're going to watch them walk. And they don't know what to do. They're putting on the hat over and over again, taking it off, putting it back on. Imagine if instead of a long walk from the green room, you ran and hopped in a NASCAR car with the number of the pick that you are.
Yeah.
And then you drive around to the stage. Pop out instead of Roger Goodell of Green Bay rode a bike at the beginning, which was kind of awkward.
That's the Green Bay tradition with the Packers.
With the kids going to practice, I get that. Roger Goodell on a bike.
Weird.
Yeah, and there you go. And still, I get I know what they were trying to do. But the car would be cool. And by the way, the Charlotte Motor Speedway has kind of become that for Charlotte. Anytime there's a bowl game in Charlotte, Like the players on Tuesday always get to go and they go take a couple hot laps. Like it's become, I don't know, like the Hawaii Bowl, you go to a luau. If there's something going on in Charlotte, you go to Charlotte Motor Speedway. So it makes sense.
Yeah, and also think of the marketing opportunities you could do, like have a sponsor like on the car, like on the vehicle. There's so much you could do with that. Make it happen.
I'm with it.
It'd be awesome for the state of North Carolina.
2029, I think, is the soonest it could be.
Let's make it happen.
There's got to be like a young Kuechly or something coming up by then. I don't know. Somebody in the 2029 NFL draft. That's number 2. Let's hit number 1.
Go one! He's win the draw. Back Chatfield, they score! Traffic out front, but Chatfield was ready to let it go. And the Canes jump out to an early lead on a Category 5. It's 1-0 Carolina.
Canes Caps tonight. Game 1, round 2, Stanley Cup playoffs. Teams with history, teams with ability, different styles. It's got it all. It's got everything. So we're going to ask the question that we asked last week when we thought this game potentially could be played over the weekend until the NHL decided to kick it all the way to Tuesday. Dennis, I'll give you an opportunity to double down on your pick or to change your pick.
Okay.
The hockey gods knock on your door. We're talking about it's Gordie Howe, right? Knocks on your door and says, Dennis Cox, we have selected you. You get to pick one player for the Carolina Hurricanes that we will guarantee has a great game in game 1.
Okay.
Only one player. Everybody else, it's their own free will. How they play is up to them, but you get to guarantee one player has a great game with the goal of making sure that the Carolina Hurricanes win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also say even gods can't control goalies. So goalies are completely to their own ability. You can't choose a goalie. It's the only one off the list. Who are you choosing?
I'm going to take Svetch. When Svetch is playing at his best, this team goes to another level. I'm going to take Andre.
I think that is, if we were to ask the question, if we knocked on everyone's door, if Gordie, the hockey god, knocked on everyone's door, I think Svetch would probably be most. I think that's the prime target there, and also because the range of outcomes, right? We talk about like Aho would be another good one. Don't get me wrong, Sebastian Aho having a great game, it's very good for the Canes. But as I describe it often, right? Like his game's kind of like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good. Right? Like the best pizza you ever had is awesome, but bad pizza, it's also like, all right, I'll eat 3 slices. Like it's still pretty good. Svetch, the bad is like, is that edible? I don't want that. But the good is great. So I think Svetch is a good answer. He was my answer for most of the first round, and he lived up to it, by the way. Played great in the first round. Very excited. I think I might double down on my answer from last week. I'm going Jackson Blake. A rookie in this situation with a week to think about it, I could see him being in his own brain a little bit. And he's on the top line, right? At least, you expect him to get those opportunities to solidify a spot up there. That's a lot of pressure on a guy that not that long ago was in college. And not that, like, even if you go back to the beginning of this year, I remember having these conversations with a bunch of fans. It felt like there was one slot in the roster on even opening day, and it ended up being on opening day for a rookie. And we didn't know which one it was going to be. Was it Nadeau? Was it Blake? Unger Sorum was in the mix there. Like, which one was it going to end up being? And Blake ended up not only getting the nod, but really proving it a prudent decision all year. If he has a big game, particularly if he can produce and find the back of the net, I think that's huge for the Canes. Huge. It's also been a week since we saw any of them play, so I had to rack my brain for their names. Just kidding. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need to get some numbers game contestants, but before we do, Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, are your monthly bills keeping you up at night? Maybe you're worried about your finances in these crazy times. If you're like most people, you have racked up a sizable amount on your credit cards, and the monthly payment is just simply not making a dent in it. It's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you own a home, You have a super easy way to get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash. Loan Pronto has lots of options for helping you tap into the equity in your home and get the cash you need to get back on solid footing. Most homeowners who do this end up wiping out all their credit card debt and cutting their monthly expenses by $1,000. Look, you didn't mean to end up here, but you don't have to keep stressing about money. Call Loan Pronto for fast debt relief now. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Again, the website, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166. I'll say that again. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
We have the numbers game coming up next. We have a $25 Hardee's gift card going to the winner, and you have to call in to play. We need 2 contestants. Number to call, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Numbers game next.
It's Hockey Night in Carolina Playoff Edition. It's Game 1 with Washington.
Svechnikov, he scores! That's the magic! We're tied at 3!
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6. Puck Drop at 7.
Sebastian wins it on the power play in overtime!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Marcy Bailey here to remind you that Mother's Day is right around the corner. Show your love and appreciation for Mom with something sparkly wrapped up in a Bailey box. We've curated an amazing Mother's Day gift guide with beautiful jewelry for every style and budget. Shoppable at BaileyBox.com. We also have all the top designers like David Yurman, Lagos, and Hippolyta, along with our highly sought-after Bailey's collections. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best jeweler from the Triangle to the coast.
Need a spot to cheer on the Canes? Join the Carolina Hurricanes crew at Carolina Ale House's Cary location for away game watch parties. They'll have giveaways, prizes, and more. Yeah, even Stormy will be there. Weather permitting, there'll be a lawn party with a giant TV next to the restaurant. Bring a folding chair and cause chaos. Carolina Ale House is an official partner of the Carolina Hurricanes. Come to Carolina Ale House Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs. Or visit carolinaalehouse.com/Canes for more info. Carolina Ale House. Ale yeah.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before.
Oh yeah! Big money!
Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Struggling to get the sleep treatment you need? I'm Megan Giggling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. You shouldn't have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies, without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
The Carolina RV Super Show is coming to you. Join us at any Camping World in North Carolina or South Carolina, May 15th through the 18th, to shop ridiculous discounts on the best selection of new and used RVs in the Carolinas. Tour new 2025 RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Enter to win a new RV and enjoy family fun and on-site activities. Don't miss the Carolina RV Super Show at your local Camping World, May 15th through the 18th. Get all the details at campingworld.com/Carolina RV Super Show.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Andrew in Raleigh. We have Rob in Goldsboro on the line. They are battling it out with jersey numbers for a, what do we have? We have a Hardee's gift card. $25 Hardee's gift card will go to the winner. As always, I will ask the same question to both. Dennis will be the judge and choose his favorite answer. And that person will get to go first. So, we'll start with Andrew in Raleigh. Andrew, are you there?
I am.
Okay. yesterday I floated this question out there, and so if you're paying attention, you got to think about it a little bit. Name a player in sports who is absolutely synonymous with their jersey number. Okay? Could be any player, but they have to be the most linked to their jersey number. Somebody that just kind of, they go hand in hand. What do you have?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan?
Got to be an easy one there, yeah.
And obviously number 45, correct?
Yeah, of course.
All right. We'll lock in with MJ in 23. This could end up just being a really difficult decision for Dennis. Rob in Goldsboro, are you there?
Hey, most people think 3 was Rusty or oh shoot, I forgot his name. But I go with 24 Jeff Gordon.
24 Jeff Gordon. Okay. That was very quick and to the point.
I think it was leaning towards Dale Earnhardt there, number 3. That
Earnhardt
Rob
3 was
Earnhardt 3, which is synonymous with this, with racing.
Yesterday, I came up with 4 numbers. It was Earnhardt 3, Jordan 23, Gretzky 99, and Jackie Robinson 42.
All great answers. I think 23 and Jordan. It's just 23 Jordan.
Of those 4 that I mentioned, which would you have gone with?
I probably would have gone with either Jordan or Gretzky.
Okay. I think I'm Jackie Robinson. I think 42 Jackie Robinson, partially because, and this is no disrespect to I'm sure Jackie didn't pick it, or if there's a reason for it. 42 is kind of a no swag number. Like 23 gets worn by a lot of people in a bunch of different sports. 99 is it's a good defensive end number. 42 is just kind of, it's Jackie Robinson and nobody else is. It's like, that's retired? Cool. All right, I'll pick something else. So who does that mean? That means Andrew and Raleigh gets to go first. Andrew and Raleigh, you get to go first. Robin Goldsboro, stay on the line. You will have your chance. Andrew, are you ready to pick a category?
I sure am.
All right. The categories are NFL players that were drafted in 2012, NFL players that were drafted in 2020, NBA players that were all at one time or another Kevin Durant's teammates, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Go with the 2020 draft.
All right. NFL players from the 2020 draft. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Justin Herbert, Los Angeles Chargers.
10.
Correct. Derek Brown, Carolina Panthers.
95.
Correct. Brandon Ayuk, San Francisco 49ers.
11.
Correct. Michael Pittman Jr., Indianapolis Colts.
Also 11.
Correct. A.J. Dillon, Green Bay Packers.
28.
Correct. That's a perfect score, and that was your heart rate. Are you taking a nap as we speak? That was just so cool, calm, and collected.
Nope, we're sitting in traffic.
What'd you say?
So we're just sitting in traffic.
Just sitting in traffic. Well, that's a great way to spend traffic.
20.5 seconds.
20.5 seconds. Not quite an all-time record, but on top of it, nonetheless. Now, I this is always my like little disclaimer. We have seen people get a perfect score and then lose because someone else gets a faster perfect score. So, Andrew, stay on the line, and we'll see if Rob in Goldsboro can pull off the unlikely. Rob, are you there?
Yep.
All right. I'm not sure if you heard that or not, but there was a perfect score there, so you have the work cut out for you. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players from the 2020 draft class, NBA players that were all at one point or another Kevin Durant's teammates, or NHL players, Hurricanes only.
Did you mean the 2012 draft class?
Oh, yeah, sorry, not 2020. We already used that one. 2012 is the draft class available.
Yeah. I would like that one.
All right. These are all players from the 2012 draft class. I will give you the team and the player. You have to give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You do need all 5 for the win, and you need it faster than our other contestant. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Andrew Luck, Indianapolis Colts.
1.
Incorrect. Luke Kuechly, Carolina Panthers.
28.
Incorrect. Andrew Luck, Indianapolis Colts.
17.
Incorrect. Luke Kuechly, Carolina Panthers.
32.
Incorrect. Andrew Luck, Indianapolis Colts.
Pass.
Russell Wilson, Seattle Seahawks.
3.
Correct. Doug Martin, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
32.
Incorrect. Close, though. I respect the hustle. You fought hard. You avoided the shutout, which is a piece of personal pride. But unfortunately, not enough for the win. So hopefully you had some fun. Thank you for playing.
Yeah. I had a blast.
Cool. Thank you very much. For those of you playing at home, Andrew Luck, number 12. Panther fans, I'm sure you were screaming at your radio. Luke Kuechly, 59. And Doug Martin, a.k.a. the Muscle Hamster, number 22. That was his number with the Buccaneers. First-round pick, Boise State guy.
I forgot about that nickname.
The Muscle Hamster? It's a fantastic nickname. I don't think he liked it, so maybe I'm messed up for telling it, but hilarious nickname. Andrew and Raleigh, you are the winner.
All right.
And you had a perfect score. Andrew, growing up, did you have any nicknames? Anything as cool as the Muscle Hamster?
No, nothing that comes close to the Muscle Hamster.
All right, well, we'll make one up for you, and we'll give it to you next time we talk. Go ahead and stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you to make sure you get your prize. That is a $25 Hardee's gift card for a perfect score. See, here's my overanalysis of the numbers game. There is a gene. Some people get less nervous. I don't even know if it's a choice. Right there, Andrew was just chilling. Just 12, 15, 37, 95. Just no upbeat at all. Sometimes we have people on air. We talk to them, right? Like, oh, what's the question? They're laughing. They're fun. They're relaxed. Soon as that clock starts, they're, I know this one. No, wait, 9. No. It's some people just are more chill, and it helps a bunch, right? If you can stay relaxed, it helps a bunch as you rifle through all of the numbers in your head. I also wonder if there aren't people out there that are just card collectors, right? Because it seems like if you're a card collector, sports card collector, you would be you'd be pretty set up to be pretty good at that because you have the visuals. You have the visuals. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Manor Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. They do it all. And as I've said, and I've talked with their owner, Brett, about this, they want to build a relationship with the community. They don't mention it enough. They tend to be cool and modest about it, but they're all over the place. They're doing philanthropic events. They're supporting causes, and they do all of that, A, because it's the right thing to do, but also because they want a relationship with everyone out there in the community. They want you to trust them. They want you to see their trucks out and about, and that's so when things go bad, you want to call someone who you know, right? It always just seemed, and I know nobody does this anymore, but it always seemed impersonal when like you'd have a leak and you'd have to run to the yellow pages and start flipping through, and you're just like, all right, you're a plumber that starts with A, right? So, all right, I'm going to give you a call. It's always better when it's like, oh, that company did such a great job when I needed them to come out for the heating, or when they needed them to come out for the AC when it broke last summer. So now this leak, I'm going right to people I trust, Manor Service Company. They're kind of like the old handyman from like Andy Griffith, but it's the modern version of that. They have all the technicians, all the modern technology. They're up to date on all of the high-tech computers and all of your appliances now. They're just still the amongst your community, recognizable, trusty Manor Service Company. The number to call is 919-361-0993. You should just save it in your phone for all of those situations. 919-361-0993. Or you can go the modern way and just look them up online. ManorServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. We still have to make a whole bunch of picks for tonight's game.
By the way, it's going to go back to the numbers game that we just had here. Andrew going 5 for 5. After he got 5 for 5, you mentioned, that, hey, it is possible where someone could lose the numbers game even though they went 5 for 5 because the person just gets a faster time.
Correct.
The person that lost that 5 for 5 was Andrew.
No way.
That was him.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he even gave an answer for the first question. If I ever got a perfect score going first, and then somebody else got a perfect score to one-up me and take my win, I'm making sure I go second from that point on. So I know what time I have to get. It's all right, I got to get this in 16 seconds. Let's roll.
Yeah.
That's impressive. So he's a multiple-time perfect score guy.
He is.
Yeah, he's going to be dangerous at Numbers Game Live.
That Numbers Game Live? He's like, yeah, I lost concert tickets on that, but I'll
take the $25
I'll get this $25 Hardee's gift card.
Multiple times.
Heck yeah. That's free food.
I mean, that's free food, free Hardee's, and that's a pretty good bragging right there to say you've had multiple perfect scores. That's inner circle. As I said, we have to make our picks, a whole bunch of picks surrounding tonight's Game 1, Canes Caps, which you can hear right here on 99.9 The Fan starting at 7, Stormwatch at 6. So don't go anywhere. A lot more Stanley Cup playoff talk next.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. We're close to crowning a hockey champion, and when I'm not calling playoff games around the country, the first thing I do when I'm back in the Triangle is head to Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet, and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and a $6 Bloody Mary on Sunday. Dine in, carry out, get it delivered. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right, you can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code EARN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code EARN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code EARN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to let a new career blossom. The Wake County Public School System is hiring special education instructional assistants and bus drivers, and we need dedicated individuals to help transport kids and provide instruction to motivated students. You'll love our competitive salaries and comprehensive benefits, including retirement, and will enjoy a welcoming, positive culture that will motivate you every day. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and discover a place where anything is possible.
Hey, it's Paul Eihander for FanDuel. The semifinals are here, folks, and that means all the show-stopping action is turning up a notch. Don't miss your chance to bet on all the legendary moments with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel's the best place to find all your favorite player props, and now you can make the smarter play with new performance trends. Want to see if a guy's hitting the over consistently? Maybe they've been flirting with a potential triple-double. Get the latest stats right inside the app and see who's heating up. And once the game starts, that's when things get interesting. You can combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. And if you already don't have FanDuel, it's not too late to get in on the action. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul and join today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This hour of The Drive brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
Wanted to get it to Jarvis off the boards. Back for Gossesbear. Aho! Game over! Series over! Sebastian Aho wins it on the power play in overtime!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Canes Caps tonight. We've been waiting all week for this. We've been waiting a week for this. It was last Tuesday, about 6 hours from now, when Aho scored in the second overtime to beat the Devils and send them on vacation. Game 5. Now Game 1 of the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, scheduled for a puck drop about an hour and 15 minutes from now, and that obviously will be heard right here on 99.9 The Fan. Now on Fridays, we usually end the weekend, or end the week, I should say, go into the weekend with a bunch of picks. We call it Make Our Picks. We're setting stuff up. It's props. It's everything else. Dennis, if you want to set some up, you can. I also found some props that I like, prop bets and things.
Okay.
So line them up and we'll talk it out.
All right, well, Canes Caps tonight, over under set at 5.5. The over 5.5 goals is a minus 135. Going over under 5.5 goals in this game tonight.
I'm feeling over. I think that there's a decent chance there's I don't want to say a flurry, but there's maybe 2 goals scored in the first period.
Okay.
And then, as you know, postseason, there's always the chance for the empty netter. It seems a little low. That's what I'll say. I'm taking the over on that. What about you?
I'm torn on this one.
Then it's a good number. Way to go, sportsbooks.
I feel like it's going to be over as well. I feel like we're going to see this in the first couple of games of all these series here in the postseason, where Game 1 is going to be like 4-3, 5-3 type scores
100%
in Game
agree.
1. But then once you get to Game 4, it's like, all right, it's 1-1 with 2 minutes left. I think that's what you're going to see as these series progress, because you're going to see a lot of juice and energy at the beginning of these series, but guys are going to wear down.
I also think there's a possibility where it's like 2-1 with 4 minutes left and it finishes 4-3 in overtime, because it's just there's a lot of really good, I want to call them snipers, really good offensive players that I think in the playoffs is where they truly unleash, when it's like, all right, guys, backs against the wall, we're down 2 goals. Let me see what I can do. And they come up with goals a lot. It's why we see so many late forced overtimes. Because, if you take away the fear of giving up a goal, these guys are really gosh darn good. So I'm looking at the over there. Anything else?
All right, let's actually go specifically Andrei Svechnikov. Just shots on goal tonight. The over-under set at 2.5 for over-under shots with Andrei Svechnikov. Believe it or not, the under is favored at minus 135. That's, again, set at 2.5.
So in the props that I liked, I set myself a rule that they all had to be plus money. Okay. I was not taking any minus 185s and then celebrating. I had to tease it up to Andrei Svechnikov over 4 to get where I'm happy with.
Oh, wow.
4 or more shots was plus 210 earlier today when I placed the bet. So, yeah, I think he's, what'd you say, over 2? 2 or more? Is that what we're looking at? So over 2.5? Yeah, I think he's over that. I think everybody is aware, but in the first series, he made it very obvious that he knows the team is better when he is aggressive and hunting for shots and hunting for goals. That doesn't mean he's going to score a hat trick every game, right? I thought they played really well in games where he scored a goal or didn't score, as long as he was peppering the net. I think he knows that. I think he does that. Give me the over.
Okay, also, just going to go with points tonight. So points tonight, you have over, under, just basically a player to get a point tonight. It is actually Sebastian Aho to get a point tonight is a minus 182. Seth Jarvis a minus 162 to get a point tonight. Either of those guys get a point tonight, yes or no?
This is one of those, I'm going to mess around and it's going to have to be 8-7 for all of my predictions to come right.
That's fine.
I'm taking the over. I have on my props list, I think Aho gets an assist, which was plus 120.
Okay.
Just 1 or more assists. I think especially Aho. Early in series, I do think there's a feeling out process where he's trying to make sure everybody else gets going because he knows he can go get his, right? And we kind of saw that. He was quiet at the beginning of the first series against the Devils. He would in Game 3 when they needed him in the third period to help force overtime after being down 0-2. He kind of flipped the switch, and from that point on, it was a more productive player. I think he'll be a setup guy, and if Aho's setting up guys, who's a lot of times on the receiving end of that, Seth Jarvis. So yes, I think I'll take the over on both.
Okay, my final one here for you. Over/under saves on for Frederick Anderson in net tonight, 22.5. The over is favored at -130, but 22.5.
I'm thinking over. I think it's going to be a frenetic pace at times. I think they're going to really get up and down the ice. I saw a fan made it, so this is not my joke, but they said they had a picture of the ice, and they said, "Hey, Canes, I have your defensive philosophy." And they just had a circle over the face-off circle on the left side on both ends and said, "Don't let Ovi get there." And it was like, all right, guys, hands in.
Yeah.
Canes on 3. We got it.
Oh, so that's how you stop them. Gosh, after all these years.
Yeah. I think there's really good players on both sides. I think they're going to get up and down. They'll get their shots. And Freddie's going to have to make saves. Like, surprise. Your goalie's going to have to stop the puck in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Imagine that.
So, yeah, I think they get there. Other ones I have Stanky as an anytime goal scorer.
Let's go.
Plus 350.
Let's go.
For Mr. Game 1.
Let's go.
I had Svech over on the shots on goal. I'm going over 1.5 first period goals. It was plus 370. So you're making good money. Just, maybe a rusty mistake leads to a goal on one end, and then somebody with extra energy from rest gets another one on the other end right out the gate. I mentioned this one earlier. First goal to be a Carolina power play goal. Plus 550. I thought that was too much value for a team that seemed to have the power play going, and again, a lot of energy, a lot of pent-up, a lot of emotion. These two teams don't like each other. Somebody, a little aggressive. Oh, that's a hook, right? It doesn't take much. Tries to maybe a little aggressively get out of a scrum. Now your stick's in their face. There's the little, there's a high stick. Go ahead and send yourself to the box. Plus 550. I'm good with that. And then to get it to plus money, I'd go Canes -1.5. I think it's a close game. That's plus 185, by the way, when I placed the bet earlier. They are the favorite. I'm kind of going with the Dennis Cox thing, which is like, if you're up 1, you just bank on the empty netter to get the extra.
Get those empty netters, baby.
You got empty net Svech out there. The Aho Jarvis. At one point in time, in like empty netters per game, like 3 of the top 6 in the league in career empty netters per game were all on the Canes. So you have guys that when the goalie isn't there, they know how to find the net. So those are the ones I had. Any other, maybe not even a prop, because I'm sure you don't have the numbers up.
Okay.
Any other specific predictions on how you see this one going? Maybe from the other end, everyone wants to predict Ovi stuff. Everyone wants to predict Wilson stuff. Is there anything you see that are going to give the Canes particular problems?
Problems tonight? No, I don't. I think the only thing that I'm concerned about is if, for example, there's an icing call and you got the fourth line stuck out there, and then all of a sudden here comes over the boards Ovechkin and that line coming out there. And then how can guys like, for example, Sean Walker physically handle going skating with Ovechkin just in terms of size? Not skating ability, but just size.
There's a player whose name we haven't mentioned that we should not go the entire
Walker's my guy.
That we should not go the entire pre-game 1 show without saying.
Who's that?
William Carrier.
Oh, it's my guy.
No predictions for him from anyone in the comments for first goal scorer.
Nope.
His size and his physicality is necessary in this one. He's going to have to match some of the physicality from Washington, who's just a bigger, more reputation physical group. So we've now said it. Carrier. Any other name you want to say just to have it on record that we didn't ignore him?
Jankowski.
We haven't said Jankowski. Rod Brindamore. I think he's going to have a good day. Needs to. We have coming up next, we have Stormwatch. We're just keeping it rolling. Adam Gold with Stormwatch up next in just a couple of minutes. And then he'll pass it off to Mike Maniscalco and Trip Tracy. They'll go back and forth. And the broadcast is at 7. It's a hockey night in Carolina. Let's go, Canes. And we'll talk to you tomorrow as we get ready for the rest of the series and react to this one. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy the game.
Do you ever go to the Carolina Hurricanes games and find yourself thinking, what do the players eat before the game? What are their pregame rituals? What kind of music gets them pumped up ahead of the game? How sacred is the game day nap? What's the post-game mood on the team plane? Check out my new podcast, Iced Tea, with me, Megan LaMontagne. I get to talk to people who spill the tea on the Carolina Hurricanes. Listen to Iced Tea in any podcast app or watch the show on the Fan YouTube channel.